Hi, this is Lance Drury. If you have payroll tax problems, you have serious legal problems, you need an attorney. Call 314-260-6120 or toll free 888-367-6512 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
Download the Odyssey app to discover hundreds of new exclusive music stations available now. For music fans, by music fans. Yeah, it's over. Music stations specific to your taste, now available through the Odyssey app. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by the Loading Dock, River Views, outdoor dining, live music, and overnight accommodations. Visit GraftonLoadingDock.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. Happy Monday. Happy to be here with you. Boy, it was kind of a little bit of a rock and roll fall weekend. I hope you and yours made it through okay. I know we had some wild weather here in the listening region, and I know the life of a mother of 4 children, I'll just say under 12 because my oldest is 11. As soon as there's anything mentioned about thunderstorms or the T word, tornadoes, it's just like panic ensues. My 5-year-old will ask me for the next 24 hours, are there going to be storms? Is this it just continues to set in, and that trepidation exists. So hopefully you have made it through okay. And if you are still without power, or if you have experienced damages, our prayers are with you so we can get a quick recovery here. So there's a lot of news to get to, and we're going to have a lot of guests on the show today. So I'm glad you're going to be here. Kevin Wheeler is going to be with us at 12:40, and we are going to be talking about the Cardinals announcements of Oli Marmol being named the new manager for the St. Louis Cardinals. Kevin Wheeler is going to get to all those details. So we'll just put a pin in that and touch base with Kevin Wheeler at 12:40 to get the details. Coming up next, though, we are going to be speaking with Ammie Kessem, who I'm excited to be talking to. Ammie, I've worked with Ammie in the state of Illinois with Illinois Republican events. Yes, those, in fact, actually do exist. You'd be surprised how many people show up to them. She is Chicago's 41st Ward Republican committeeman. She's also a member, a VP of the Northwest Side GOP up in Chicago, but she also happens to be a sergeant of police in the Chicago Police Department. She also was on the scene today at one of the protests that's going on as the mayor is enforcing this vaccine mandate for the Chicago Police Department. And, you know, it's like they've got extra time and they've got police officers to spare. If you look at what the mayor is doing there to this police department and how aggressively and hatefully she speaks of them. Meanwhile, I'm holding a Fox News report in my hand right now that says there were 22 shootings reported over the weekend in Chicago, which left 24 people injured, including 3 dead. 28 people were wounded in shootings across the Windy City from 6 p.m. Friday to 11:59 p.m. Sunday. What are we doing to embrace the people who wear the badge? What are we doing to encourage people who have thought about wearing the badge to sign up and be a part of this brotherhood and sisterhood of brave and selfless people? Because in Chicago, it's pretty clear that they are not the priority in any of the law enforcement crises that Mayor Lori Lightfoot has on her hands. You know that in the city of Chicago that they don't prosecute. It's probably here in St. Louis too. They don't prosecute theft under $1,000. So you're gonna have like thieves with calculators going into stores and ripping stores off and stealing things from stores because under $1,000 the repercussion isn't there. Yet you put police officers in a position just like here in St. Louis where they have to apprehend these people, protect the lawful business owners, those people who go to work and employ people and spend, nights and weekends stressing over how to keep their business afloat when inflation is through the roof and they're struggling with supply chain issues. And you can go steal less than $1,000 worth of merchandise from them. And, in the city of Chicago, it's not going to be a concern. What are we doing? I mean, don't you turn the news on lately and just go, this can't be right. This can't be real. What on earth is going on in our judicial system, in our lawmaking system, in our law enforcement system? The people who are at the top, what are they doing? So that's Ammie Kessem. That's who we're going to talk to here in about 10, 15 minutes from right now. Like I said, she is a sergeant of police in Chicago, and I'm very excited to get her perspective on this issue. And then we've got Marc Cox at 125. So if you've been paying attention to social media, maybe if you watch the Blues game as they just continue on their tirade of winning, it's just pretty fun to watch. Did you see Sam Page at the Blues game, maskless, but he was eating. He was not breaking his mandate. He was eating. He wore a mask. He wore a mask inside and out and leaving the game. That's what a spokesperson said. Interesting, huh? The way that the phrase that's out there is rules for thee, but not for me. A lot of people are very frustrated when they continue to see, speaking of Lori Lightfoot, who was at the WNBA championship game a week ago, there without a mask on. According to KSDK, Sam Page says he followed rules despite photos of him maskless at Blues games. So I guess, is it part of the rules that you get to take your mask off to eat and drink? And if so, can I send my, children to the public schools with a sandwich in their hands that they have to hold the entire time? I hope they're eating. They can go without their mask. According to KSDK here in St. Louis County Executive Sam Page says he followed city guidelines while at Saturday's St. Louis Blues home opener, despite photos circulating that show him watching the game maskless. Asked Sunday whether the Enterprise Center requires that fans wear masks in their seats, a Blues spokesman, Dan O'Neill, said, quote, Enterprise Center is under the mask mandate that has been put in place by the city. Yes. This is just a very, very hilarious way.
How diplomatic.
To respond. A spokesperson for Page, Doug Moore, whose job gets more and more difficult with each and every passing day. Oh, to be Doug Moore, said Page, quote, wore mask entering and leaving Enterprise Center, and when not eating and drinking, complying with city masking guidelines. This is where it gets really interesting to me, and this is at the bottom of the story, and this is why I'm excited to have Marc Cox on at 125 today, because I'm just going to be like, so, Sam Page, what do you think? And we're going to let him go. He's just going to do his thing. An extra, 10, 15 minutes on top of the 4 hours of radio that he did here on 97.1 FM Talk this morning. So Doug Moore says that Sam Page wore a mask entering and leaving the Enterprise Center, and when not eating and drinking, complying with city masking guidelines. KSDK reports Moore didn't address a question about why photos do not show Page eating or drinking. So just to, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain here. And then Doug Moore did, because this is politics, folks, and he had the opportunity right in front of him. The ball was on the tee. Moore went on to criticize Fitch, saying that he, quote, sat through last week's entire county council meeting maskless, openly defying a public health order and stoking his anti-vaxxer supporters, end quote. Here's another one. The continued reckless, confrontational, illegal behavior is puzzling and dangerous from someone with a law and order background. How is what he's saying there, how is what Sam Page's spokesperson is saying, Doug Moore, how is what he's saying there any different than what can be said about Sam Page sitting at the St. Louis Blues game, whether he was eating or not? Man, this is where it's easy to go down the road of trying to argue the science behind this. Like, let's take a second here and discuss how in the world sitting in a suite at the St. Louis Blues game without a mask because you have food sitting in front of you or a drink sitting in front of you, how somehow or another COVID decides to opt out of that situation. But if there isn't food present in front of the alderman or city councilman Tim Fitch, If there's not food present sitting in front of Tim Fish, that if he's not wearing a mask, then COVID opts into that situation. We're not that dumb. But again, this is where I start talking about science and then everybody just starts yelling and nothing gets done. The point here is that Sam Page, this is his rule. Everybody else in the arena is there to follow Sam Page's rule that he's not following while he's watching the St. Louis Blues game. And if it's so frightening and it's so scary, why is he there in the first place? This is about freedom. This is about the people who tell you what you can and can't do, and the people who are just willfully there to listen to someone who doesn't have the authority tell you what they can and cannot do. And it's everywhere. It's not just St. Louis. Honestly, St. Louis is probably chapter 42 in a long list of people like Nancy Pelosi, who at the height of the pandemic was out getting her hair cut in San Francisco, where nobody else was allowed to do that, not wearing her mask appropriately. These people tell you how you have to live your life, what you have to do, what you cannot do, and then they don't do it. So forgive me while I decide to reclaim a bit of my freedom here and make decisions based on what is best for my health. If people have a problem with it, ask me to leave. I'll leave. I probably won't come back either. Sam Page sitting there, I mean, I gotta say, like, as somebody who has been I know a lot of politicians. I talk to a lot of politicians, especially on a more local level. How is it possible that he could be sitting there, waving, smiling, or anything without a mask on? It's, just from the sense that he's the leader. He's the one that everybody is looking to, who's setting these expectations and requirements and mandates for his little people that he rules here in the St. Louis area. How is it possible that nobody says, listen, you can go to the Blues game? I think it would be a good show of leadership to show up to the Blues game, to go be out and spend money and be present with the people of St. Louis, but that mask doesn't leave your face no matter what. That's obvious politics. To me, the only thing that trumps obvious politics for someone like Sam Page is arrogance. Not ignorance, it's arrogance. That he's going to get the leash and the room to explain why his particular situation is permissible. Heaven knows that I wouldn't get that leash. You wouldn't get that leash. This is being used against us. It's being used in a way that is political, which is why I say don't argue political fights with science, because it's not the same playing field. If Sam Page sitting there eating a hot dog or whatever it was that he was eating, drinking a beer or whatever it was that he was drinking, if him sitting there without his mask on is scientifically okay for him, the same goes for everyone else. And I've seen people comment, and I've heard people say, there's a lot of people in that arena weren't wearing their masks. I know, because they're sick and tired of this, just like Sam Page. But Sam Page is the one who's telling people what they have to do. That's the difference. That's the distinction. And that's what makes me think that the next time you have the opportunity to go somewhere, make someone tell you, sir, ma'am, will you please put your mask on? And then be polite, be a good citizen, and don't react in a way that it is aggressive or with anger. Make the decision to comply with what that private business is doing, or if you choose not to comply, go elsewhere. It is an incredibly different thing to see Sam Page, whose decision it is, apparently, to make all of those people in the arena abide by his rule, and then see him not doing it politically. Mr. Page, what are you doing? It's so short-sighted, but yet it's arrogance. And St. Louis is waking up to it. The entire country is waking up to it. When we come back, Ammie Kessem is going to join us. As I said, she is Chicago's 41st Ward Republican committeeman. She is also the vice president of the Northwest Side GOP. But she is a sergeant of police in the Chicago Police Department, and she knows all about the protests that are going on there, what this mayor, Lori Lightfoot, has been doing and saying to the Chicago Police Department. And she's going to join us when we come back. We also have Kevin Wheeler, Stephen Moore, and Marc Cox on today's show, and you in the live chat on our Facebook live stream and the YouTube live stream, as well as Twitter and Twitch. Join us wherever it's convenient for you. We'll be back with Ammie Kessem in a minute.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. 97.1 is your home for independent thought. That's why 97.1 is the #1 talk station in St. Louis. It's the place for ideas in a country facing challenges like never before.
Tony La Russa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Tired of constantly caring for a home exterior that doesn't look as good as it should? You deserve beautiful, low-maintenance James Hardie fiber cement siding. James Hardie gives you gorgeous colors, stands up to Missouri's harsh weather, and lasts decades. At Lakeside Renovation and Design, we're experts in installing America's #1 siding. And our lifetime workmanship warranty gives you peace of mind. Get a lovely, lasting home exterior with Lakeside Renovation and Design. Request a free consultation at 636-978-5000. That's 636-978-5000. And love your home all over again.
Stewart's American Mortgage is home of the bagel loan. Stewie is your guy. When you are looking to do a refinance on your home, if you are looking to do make a home purchase, Stewart's American Mortgage can help you get that mortgage secured, whether it's a refi or a new mortgage, with the bagel loan. And it's going to cost you nothing to get that done. Those fees that you get charged everywhere else, you're not going to pay him with Stewie. He doesn't roll them into the loan. He doesn't, stick them over here 30 years down the road so that you don't see them right now. They don't exist. That's the distinction at the bagel loan at Stewart's American Mortgage. Right now is a perfect time to do this as well because rates are low. You can get those low rates wherever you go to do a refinance. You're going to be able to access the low rates. You can get the super low rates with Stewie, but you could also tap into that super high value on your home. As there has been an increase in home values, your equity is higher. Get rid of PMI, lower your monthly payment, get rid of years off the length of your loan, and save on interest. Give Stewie a call at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. You can find him online at stewartsamc.com and MLS number 226715.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Hi, this is Curtis Barks. I am the owner of Complete Auto Body and Repair, here to tell you about our touchless automotive service. If you're experiencing the constant struggles of having the kids home from school or just want more of that family time where you can listen to them teach you about what they do every day, we provide touchless automotive service, return the vehicle to you clean and ready to go in the comfort of your own home. Check us out online at CompleteAB.com for more information. If it's not perfect, it's not complete. Others can't compete with Complete Auto Body.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixed the cars.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions not available in all areas. If you run a small business, you know that dealing with workers' comp insurance can be tedious and costly. But Pi Insurance is changing that, and founder John Swigert is here with me to tell us how.
At Pi, we saw that small businesses needed a better way to handle their workers' comp coverage. So we built Pi Insurance from the ground up for them. We make getting workers' comp a no-brainer with simple online shopping. Best of all, we're helping them save up to 30%.
And the reviews say it all.
That's right. Pi Insurance is rated excellent on Trustpilot by our customers. They tell us we're fast, affordable, and easy to work with.
Thanks, John. Bottom line here is that if you run a small business, you can say goodbye to expensive, complicated workers' comp and discover the next generation of small business insurance. Why not see if Pi can save you up to 30%? Ask your agent for Pi or check your rate today at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Made me see where I've been.
Say a few things about all of this and remind everybody that what this whole issue is. Number one, okay, there's a reason why we have a collective bargaining agreement. It's to keep the city and the department from forcing new conditions of employment on members, new discipline on members, without coming to the table and bargaining with the union. They failed to do that at every step of the way in this process. From the beginning, is always, a tyrannical order. It's this or else. Well, I've said it in the past, and I've said it at a few meetings. I'm choosing the or else.
So Chicago police office there blasting the mandate, the vaccine mandate that Chicago police officers are under right now. You've seen this on the national news, that there are a lot of police officers who are protesting. And this is in the midst of a moment in time where also in the national news, let's just cite this weekend, 22 shootings reported over the weekend in Chicago, leaving 24 people injured, including 3 dead, according to Chicago police. It's not as though we can spare police officers, our good men and women in uniform in Chicago. It is a dangerous place to be. And it seems as though that the government structure in the city cares more about protecting the criminals than upholding and protecting our good police officers. I want to get straight to our guest here. Ammie Kessem joins us right now. She's Chicago's 41st Ward Republican committeeman, vice president of the Northwest Side GOP, but she's also a sergeant of police in the Chicago Police Department, and she is at the subway right now in the city of Chicago. There goes the subway train. Ammie, thank you so much for being on with us today, because your perspective on this issue is very valuable. What can you tell us about the state of mind right now for Chicago police officers who wear the uniform?
Well, thank you so much, Annie, for having me on. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you giving us a voice and a platform to speak out about this tyrannical mayor who basically just has steamrolled over these members of this union's collective bargaining rights. And it's not just this union, it's the fire department's union, and it's all the other unions that are within the city. She doesn't seem to want to keep good faith in bargaining with these union members like she's supposed to. And so that's really the heart of the issue here. It's not about this vaccine mandate per se. It's just that people have a lot of concerns about the repercussions of this. For example, if I tell them my vaccine status, does that necessarily mean that, if there's a job opportunity within the department, am I going to be withheld from getting that job posting or getting, chosen for that position because of my vaccine status? I mean, there's just a lot of unanswered questions at this point.
Ammie, what can you tell me about the communication from the people who are making these requirements within to the police officers who are risking their life in one of the United States' most dangerous cities? How does this communication go back and forth?
Yeah, so that's actually one of the things that we were hoping to accomplish today by being out here at City Hall and rallying for our rights, and hoping that these aldermen, there's 50 aldermen within the city, each one is in charge of each ward, there's 50 wards, and it's to help them realize that, they're feeling the heat as far as the crime rates go in the city, because they just keep going up and up and up. Violent crime is going up and up and up. And when you have a policy like this mayor has single-handedly enacted, it's going to take officers off the streets. And we can't afford to even lose one officer right now, not one.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really our hopes here today in participating in this rally, to put that pressure on these aldermen to ensure that they stand up for the rights of their constituents, to make sure that they're protected.
We're speaking with Ammie Kessem, who is a sergeant of police in Chicago. You are also Chicago's 41st Ward Republican committeeman. Now, I'm sitting in St. Louis, Missouri right now, but I do live in Southern Illinois. And most of Southern Illinois is going to be pretty excited to know that there is a Republican in Chicago. And I've had this conversation with you before. And I believe it was you that indicated that Chicago has the largest group of Republicans in the entire state. There are a lot of them up there. Maybe it's different than Southern Illinois, but what can you tell us about this particular issue, law enforcement, safety, security in that northwest part of the state of Illinois, and how Republicans are reacting to it?
So my ward in particular, the number of city workers and the number of Republicans living with it. That's another to be here, help be their voice. So, I mean, that's one of the things that there's, they're not, the majority.
Hey, Ammie, we're gonna put you on hold for a second, because we're losing this connection, and I really want to make sure that we get we hear what you have to say, because it's very impactful. So maybe Dave can reconnect with her out there and get us back on a good connection with Ammie Kessem, because what she's talking about here, I've done different calls with Ammie. I've done statewide. Basically I am the moderator. We did a lot of this during COVID, where I would have someone like Ammie, who serves in the Northwest Side Republican Party, the GOP there. She serves as a Republican committeeman in Chicago, and she has a lot to say. And I am very interested in marrying the anger and the frustration that exists here in Southern Illinois for common sense, yes, conservative ideals, but you can be moderate right now. And if the state of Illinois ever went purple or moderate, it would be a drastic improvement. So Ammie's back with us now. Ammie, sorry about that. We were really losing you there, and I wanted to make sure we heard what you had to say.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Talk to us about the Chicago Republican Party.
So my ward in particular has the highest number of Republicans that lives within the city of Chicago, as well as the highest number of city workers. So that's why I felt compelled to be out here today, attending this rally in person, so that I can be their voices and stand up for their rights. And, frankly, people are at their wits' end with what's been going on with the Democratic Party. And so one of the things, or the platforms that the Illinois GOP and the Cook County GOP and even the Chicago GOP, the message that we're trying to get across is that we absolutely can turn this state around. It's going to take boots on the ground, and we need all the volunteers that we can get at this point. But what people don't realize is that if we get 22% of the vote for a Republican candidate within the Cook County area or city of Chicago area, we absolutely can have a Republican governor again. And not only that, but we're working to change the trajectory of the rest of the state, because we plan on running a Republican candidate for every single position that we can. And that includes within the city of Chicago. And the reason being is that when we don't run a candidate, that means that the opposing candidates on the Democratic side, they don't have to spend money. So we're going to force them to spend money. And, that's going to prevent them from sending their coffers downstate and taking over the entire state. That's basically the plan as of right now.
It's so important, and it's so necessary for the success of the Republican Party to understand the hand-in-hand nature of how Southern Illinois, I'm going to stick up for Southern Illinois because that's where I'm from, often feels as though they've been left behind. We seem to feel like I feel that way, certainly, that we really go the way of Chicago on a regular basis. Governor Pritzker is not a governor for Southern Illinois. He doesn't even hardly go to Springfield, Illinois, let alone it being the capital of the state. I'm curious in Chicago, You said you need 22% of the vote out of Cook County to go for those Republican candidates. Governor Pritzker is a far left governing Democrat. Are there moderate Democrats, moderate Republicans who maybe weren't so excited about Bruce Rauner the last time around that are really paying attention to the direction the state is heading under Governor Pritzker's tutelage and thinking they need to be active in a change?
Yeah, I think that you're seeing a lot of folks that have seen what's been going on, even just within the Democratic Party. You know, I've said this for years now. The Democratic Party is not our mothers and fathers party. It's changed so far to the left that people are not willing to vote for those individuals anymore, and they're starting to see the light. And luckily, we have certain platforms that give us the ability to get that message across. But we are up against a multi-billionaire, so it's basically going to come down to how much money is going to be spent in this race, and how many boots on the ground we have, and how many people can send a message across within Cook County and Chicago in general that enough is enough, and we're not going to tolerate a dictatorship or tyrannical leaders that single-handedly want to ruin our city.
Yeah, I am so with you on that. Real quick before I let you go, we're speaking with Ammie Kessem, who is a sergeant of police in Chicago. She's also Chicago's 41st Ward Republican committeeman. You were with those members who were protesting, to those Chicago police officers that were protesting today. You were with them this morning. Law enforcement is one of those things that whether you are in law enforcement, you're married to someone in law enforcement, your parent or your child is in law enforcement, a lot of people across party lines have been looking at what this governor has done, how he's led, and saying we got to stop it right now. Is the attitude in the police departments right now, is that really directing some change in effort as well as what we've heard so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, well, first of all, let me just say that my opinions are solely my opinions, right? So I'm not representing the police department here. I'm representing my constituents as the Republican committeeman and the constituents that are within my ward. And like I said, a lot of them are city workers. So that's kind of why I felt compelled to be there. But yes, I think that you have a lot of individuals that have always kind of voted for the Democratic Party because they thought that that was the union party, the pro-union party. I've always maintained that I am pro-union. I know that's like, a misnomer. People don't necessarily associate a Republican as being pro-union, but I have said that from the very beginning, even when I ran for state representative. And back in 2018, we had a rally for specifically union members who were conservative members who were part of the Republican Party. So, 40% at that time, 40% of union members considered themselves to be members of the Republican Party, or at least conservative. And that's something that people, have to realize. And if you ask them now, it would be an interesting poll to do, to be honest with you. I would venture to say that number is much higher now.
Yeah, I've heard that we have a lot of steel workers across the river here in Illinois. And same thing. There's a lot of the union faithful who love their union and don't love the Democratic Party. And I think we need to reach out to those individuals. Ammie, it's been a pleasure to speak with you. I hope you catch your train. Thank you for squeezing us into your day. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye. Ammie Kessem, Chicago's 41st Ward Republican committeeman. Sorry about that extra noise there. She is in the subway and she told us that, and I just wanted to fit her in and have that conversation with her. Being there at those protests this morning with the Chicago police officers. She is a sergeant of police herself, and she's very clear. She doesn't speak for the police, the CPD, but she does speak for constituents, and she is a police officer. She has a valuable perspective. All right, you guys hear this from earlier this morning.
I'm pleased to announce that Ollie Marmol will be the 51st Cardinals manager. As you know, Ollie has spent his entire career in the Cardinals organization as a player, manager, coach, and 3 years as our major league bench coach. He has excellent working relationships with players, coaches, and staff at all levels of the organization. We believe Ollie possesses strong managerial skills that will allow for the Cardinals' success to continue well into the future.
How do we feel about that? That there was Bill DeWitt Jr. announcing Ollie Marmol as the new manager for the St. Louis Cardinals. Kevin Wheeler is going to join us when we come back, and he's going to break down for us what we heard this morning at their 10 a.m. press conference, what it means for the St. Louis Cardinals going forward, and how he feels specifically about that nomination and succession from Mike Schilt. Ollie Marmol, now the 51st manager for the St. Louis Cardinals. Is that right? 51st? They've had 51 managers?
Yeah, I suppose so. I haven't actually counted them. But...
That's as Cardinals 50. That's what my paper says. That doesn't even seem possible. All right, let's take a quick break. Kevin Wheeler, KMOX sports reporter, with us on the breakdown of Ollie Marmol named as the St. Louis Cardinals manager in just a minute. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFreyShow. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
County Councilman Tim Fitch, the county executive, went to the Blues game.
I'm not saying Sam Page was the only one that wasn't masked at that game. The vast majority of the participants weren't masked. People are done with the mask, and it's pretty obvious.
Mornings 5 to 9.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. In addition to heating and cooling, Air Comfort Service also offers indoor air quality, water heater, and AeroSeal duct sealing services. Get in your comfort zone with aircomfortservice.com.
Your fall cleanup list could be long and daunting, so don't allow those worn-out windows to drag you down. New windows from Universal Windows Direct will make cleaning a breeze and allow you more time for you. Universal Windows Direct windows will save you tons of money and come with a true lifetime warranty. So call now to schedule your personal estimate and take advantage of our buy one, get one free and pay nothing for 2 years. And you too will be saying, I love my windows. Call 314-334-2522 or online at universalwindowsdirect.com.
Universal Windows Direct.
Home warranty. I know, right? Buying coverage for appliances, your heater and AC from a company that hopes you never ever have a claim or call. Let me introduce you to a real home warranty company, the kind that actually wants to help you. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Upkeep visit your home 4 times a year to maintain your appliances and equipment. You will never get a lack of maintenance denial because Upkeep does the maintenance. Also nice, Upkeep assigns you one point person to help you. You won't be passed around like an office hot potato, and you won't get subcontractors. Upkeep does all their work, so there's no blame game. Just experts helping you. Visit upkeepstl.com today and type in 971 for $100 off. Don't be denied. Instead, be relieved. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. 636-387-7331.
Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep, and you'll have a happy home.
STS Armory online at sts-armory.com. That's where you go to meet your new people in the business. They're my folks, the place I go for firearms, for ammunition, for training as well. If you haven't met Katie and Jesse Johnson at STS Armory in Pontoon Beach yet, you need to do yourself the favor. They have a ton of certifications and great education to provide, to pass on to you, so that when you are shopping for something, if you know exactly what you want, they can help connect you with that. If you're not 100% sure what you want, but you know what you want it for, they can talk you through the process and get you something that is in budget. They did that for myself. They did that for my family member who came in with me, was purchasing his very first handgun, and he didn't know what he was doing. And he just asked basic questions, and they walked him through the entire process so that he was confident that what he was buying was the right thing within his budget. From the moment you make your first purchase all the way through training, STS Armory is there for you. 618-931-4867. 618-931-GUNS. Give them a call and find out how they can help you today. Online at sts-armory.com.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com and join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, healthfromwithinstl.com.
I'm Thomas Helbig, founder of the Retirement Advisory Group. When I meet my clients for the first time, they have built up a life savings. Their question is, what can I do with this money so we can live comfortably the rest of our lives? First, we develop a strategy to protect your nest egg from any market losses. Then we design your own personalized structured income plan that will generate you an income the rest of your life. We put you in control of your money. You've earned it, and it's my job to make sure you enjoy it. Let our team show you how you can have the retirement of your dreams. Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. You'll receive a copy of my second edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees retire with confidence for 35 years. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com. Once again, that's online at retirementkey.com.
If it's bumper to bumper or smooth sailing, Sue Thomas has you covered with dependable traffic. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I'm honored to sit here and just hear you guys speak and present this opportunity to me and my family. I'd like to take a moment and just thank the DeWitt family. This past week, just being able to speak with Bill, and it's evident that this organization franchise is absolutely dear to his heart and his family's heart. And they've built a winning tradition and a rich history here that is absolutely remarkable. For them to trust me to be a caretaker of that is incredibly humbling. So thank you for that.
Ollie Marmol named the Cardinals manager to succeed Mike Shildt. That announcement came at 10 a.m. this morning, and we are going to get the dish right now with Kevin Wheeler.
Hey, Eddie! Let's talk a little business of baseball here.
This is a simple game. You throw the ball, you hit the ball, you catch the ball.
There's no crying in baseball!
Cardinals, Blues, and more with sports reporter Kevin Wheeler.
So, Kevin, we've got good news from the St. Louis Cardinals. They've named Ollie Marmol the manager. Just give us your thoughts on this news from today and how this bodes for the future of the St. Louis Birds.
Well, I mean, I got to think, we should start off with kind of a basic premise here, and that is, like, nobody knows if this hire is going to work or not. I mean, like, when you're hiring someone like, say, Tony La Russa, who had already won a World Series and guided a dynasty, that it's a little bit more rational to have a set of expectations. I'm like Switzerland on this. I mean, I don't think it's in any way a bad move, and I don't know if it's going to work, but I like Ollie Marmol a lot. As you can, if anybody paid attention to the presser today, he's a really good communicator. He's had a reputation for being a manager in development now for at least a solid 6 or 7 years. I mean, this is a guy that was managing in the minor leagues in his late 20s. He was already a major league coach in his early 30s, and he's now the youngest manager in baseball. He's always had the reputation of somebody that would be a major league manager someday. And now the someday is today. And what I think you're gonna see is a lot that will remind you of Mike Shildt. And Ollie was very clear in pointing out today that one of the biggest influences on his coaching career was Mike Shildt. And you'll see some differences. You'll see some decisions made differently. You may see them lean a little bit more heavily on things like matchups. Ollie today talked a bit about, the philosophy of each day, putting the lineup out there that gives you the best chance that day. And it might look different than the day before, whether that means the order of the hitters or which guys are playing. So we may see a little bit more kind of creativity in that regard, but I think for a lot of it, you're going to see something similar to what we've seen the last few years.
So you mentioned that he's the youngest manager in Major League Baseball. He's 35 years old, born in 1986. For a lot of Cardinals faithful, that just from a personal standpoint will make them fall off their chair. But, if you've got the goods, you've got the goods. And why pass on someone so that they can be, 38, 42? By that time, he might get scooped up by somebody else and you lose him. Is age a factor in this at all?
I doubt it. I mean, I think experience matters more than age, and what matters more than both of those things is ability. It's something that Bill DeWitt Jr. mentioned during the presser. It's the same idea with young players, right? If you're bringing up a young player, you're not going based on experience because they don't have any. You're not going on success or failure because they've never had a chance to succeed or fail. You're going on ability. You're going on talent. And clearly the Cardinals think Ollie Marmol has that kind of talent, and other people in the sport do too. I mean, again, his reputation is not brand new. This isn't something that just kind of popped up out of the blue. He's been viewed as a really good baseball mind who would eventually have the experience to earn a job like this.
Speaking with Kevin Wheeler, KMOX sports reporter, is following the news that Ollie Marmol has been named the new Cardinals manager. This is literally the big leagues. That's kind of like what you say in a lot of other industry things, like, oh, they're in the big leagues now. No, but this is literally the big leagues. How long does he have to honeymoon as the manager for the St. Louis Cardinals? I mean, is it opening day of 2022, perform, or there's trouble?
I guess it depends on how we're looking at it. If we're looking at it from the front office perspective, he's not on any kind of hot seat right out of the gate. I mean, it took, more than 3 years for any kind of rift to show up with Mike Schilt. And, today John Mozeliak was asked if he thought this change was possible when they were flying back from LA after the wild card game. And he said at that time, no. Wow. So, in terms of having the faith of the organization, he's not going to be on a short leash. He's going to have time. As far as expectations for the season, though, next year, he's jumping into the fire, man. I mean, people expect this team to go out and win the division next year. And that expectation is not just from fans. I think the front office thinks this team is ready to be that kind of team, too. And, I'll give Marmol some credit. I mean, today he said championships are the goal. There are other things to shoot a season. He said, but if we don't win a championship, it's going to be a disappointment. So he put that out there already. And the way that next year is lining up with Waino and Yachty back for a year, with Nolan Arenado facing another decision on an opt-out after 2022, with all the things that have gone into this, I think the expectations are high, and I think the expectation is going to be a significant improvement from this year.
What can you tell us, Kevin, about those? You just named some very high-profile St. Louis Cardinals there, specifically the Nolan Arenado piece that is not, a period on that sentence. There's a question mark on the end of that sentence about what happens next with Nolan Arenado. How do you think that those guys feel about Ollie getting the promotion to being the head guy?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that, when Mike Schilt was let go, there were a lot of players that were upset. I mean, they liked Mike Schilt a lot. And I think they probably looked at Ollie in very much that same way. I mean, a lot of these guys have known him for 10 years and was drafted by the Cardinals in the 6th round. So, he's got some on-field professional experience. He didn't advance, but he did play professionally. He's known these guys forever. I mean, look, he's been on the Major League staff since 2017. So, the guys that have been around know him. And I would imagine that, they're cool with this. I'm sure they all still feel bad about what happened to Schilt. I'm sure that they all wish that hadn't happened. But I got to believe that he's a popular guy in that clubhouse.
Yeah. So let me ask you real quick. I only got about a minute left here. The decisions to move from Mike Schilt to Ollie Marmol, what's the big distinction between the two that makes Marmol the right guy and Schilt the wrong one?
Well, whatever it was that Schilt and the front office disagreed upon doesn't exist with Ollie.
We just don't know the specific details. I want the dirt, Kevin. Yeah, I want the dirt.
We have an idea, right? There was some clash between Schilt and the philosophy of the hitting coach, Jeff Albert. And Ollie said today that he and Albert are in alignment when it comes to hitting philosophy. And, there's some other analytical things, again, like playing matchups and pitcher usage and stuff that might be different. So that would be it probably right there.
All right. Well, Kevin, we'll be tuning into Sports Open Line. We'll be listening to your updates on this. Encourage people to follow you at Kevin Wheeler 94 for the latest. Thanks for giving us some extra time here on a Monday. Good to talk to you.
No worries. Have a good one.
Yep. You as well. So the St. Louis Cardinals there making the announcement at 10 a.m. That just really turned around fast. They don't normally like to make these kinds of announcements during the playoffs. And while the playoffs are going on, the St. Louis Cardinals have fired and hired a manager. Like that happened really, really fast. Still love to know what you think about that. Give us a comment on the live chat on the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. A reminder to go like the Facebook page. I'm going to give you an update in the 2 o'clock hour about where we are on the pursuit to wear that silly costume that Ryan Wiggins is going to choose for us. Ryan is on vacation through tomorrow, so he'll be back Wednesday as well. When we come back, Stephen Moore and Marc Cox. Don't go away. More Annie Frey Show around the corner.
Hey, come in cold. I'm ready to play.
Do you have errands to run? Do you like to run all over town, or do you try to make as few stops as possible? It's nice when you can get everything in one place, isn't it? Hi, this is Lori Heisey, owner of Heisey Advisory Group. I believe the same is true for retirement planning. You shouldn't have to go to one place for tax planning, another place for investment planning, and another place for retirement income planning. That's why Ken and I started Heisey Advisory Group. We wanted to build a company that could help families with all aspects of their retirement planning. We're more than just convenient. We're knowledgeable, experienced, and we'd love to help you create a comprehensive retirement plan so you can retire with confidence. Call 314-328-6000 to schedule a visit with us to talk about all things retirement. That's 314-328-6000.
Firm offers insurance but does not provide tax or legal advice. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
So we have custom organization solutions ready for you, and I've done it at my house, and I want you to give Closet Factory a try in yours. Whatever your issues are, they're probably kind of similar to mine, what mine were, but probably unique to you, just like mine are unique to my family. Closet Factory can create a customized solution for your space. That space is not just relegated to closets. They do pantries. So you think about your kitchen and what do you fumble over all the time? They can create customized storage solutions for that kitchen space that is going to have everything in place where you want it conveniently located. Men, women too. That's a sexist thing for me to say, Annie. Garage storage. Actually, as a woman, I wish my husband's stuff was organized in the garage. So maybe this is a man-woman thing. Reach out to Closet Factory and get a solution for your space today. 314-961-4300. That's 314-961-4300. A family-owned business. You can learn more about them online at closetfactory.com.
We've all seen the news, and if you haven't been thinking about cybersecurity in your business, you probably are now. It's never been more important than it is today. At Acropolis Technology Group, we're having these conversations daily, and they primarily fall into one or more of these three categories. One, I'm renewing my cyber liability coverage, and my insurance company is asking me to check boxes that I can't check. How do I fix it at a reasonable cost? Two, I'm so integrated with my suppliers, business partners, and customers, they're asking me the same questions. We're only as strong as our weakest link, and I'm concerned we aren't doing enough. Or three, most of my employees get it, but there are a few that I'm really concerned could expose us to a ransomware attack by accidentally clicking on the wrong link. How do I educate them and lessen my risk? If you're concerned and not sure what to do, we can help. Security is a layered strategy that begins with a conversation. Let's start that conversation today and visit us on the web at acropolistech.com. That's acropolistech.com. Protect, optimize, grow. We are Acropolis Technology Group.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
His bottom line has changed. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin, one of the moderate Democrat holdouts on the president's social spending package, says he's still looking for $1.5 trillion, still lower than what progressives have talked about recently. Those talks holding up a final House vote on a bipartisan infrastructure package.
I trust Speaker Pelosi, and she'll make the right decision there, I'm sure. But we're all working in good faith.
President Biden met at his Delaware home yesterday with Manchin and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. White House details on international travel rules just released. Non-citizens must show proof of vaccination and a negative COVID test 3 days before departure. Unvaccinated travelers need a negative test 1 day before. More information about the movie set where Alec Baldwin accidentally killed someone last week while using a prop gun. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has this live.
Lisa, Santa Fe County Sheriff's Department search warrants reveal 3 guns used on the movie set were on a cart
handled by one woman. The assistant director, David Halls, grabbed one and gave it to actor Alec Baldwin, telling him it was cold, meaning no live rounds were inside. When Baldwin went to practice using it, it went off and killed Helena Hutchins, the film's director of photography. Director Joel Souza was injured as well. Some crew members had recently complained on this set about 2 accidental prop gun discharges just before this incident, Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. A North Carolina man who moved to Chicago is now on the list of men and boys killed by John Wayne Gacy. The Cook County Sheriff just confirming that Francis Wayne Alexander was identified with the help of the DNA Doe Project. His were among several sets of remains found at Gacy's home and never identified. In a statement released today, Alexander's sister is thanking the sheriff's office for some measure of closure. America is listening to Fox News.
Oh, won't you stick with me, baby? I'm going to make a lot of bread. I mean both money and actual bread. But right now I need dough, cause my delivery truck's dead. And by dough, I mean money. Trucks don't run on bread.
Owning a small business isn't always as lovely as it sounds, but with personalized discounts that save you money, Progressive Commercial keeps you humming along. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
I need more dough. Need with an N. I need more dough. Need with a K.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage and discounts not available for all vehicles or states. Policy terms and conditions apply.
Fever is the leading symptom of COVID and the flu, and the only way to reliably detect it is with an accurate thermometer. Be vigilant and be accurate with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, whose accuracy has been proven in more than 100 clinical studies. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They're proven to be inaccurate and will not reliably detect a fever that might mean COVID. Be sure to seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The fall chill is back this afternoon. Gusty winds and cooler, changeable sky. 55 for the high. That's a good 25 degrees cooler than yesterday. Tonight, partly cloudy. Take it down to 39-40 for the overnight low. Winds going light. Tuesday, sunny and cool. 62 developing rain showers are back Wednesday afternoon. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Mark Reardon Show is giving away T-shirts.
And you get a T-shirt, and you get a T-shirt.
Listen 3 to 6 weekdays for the Reardon Random Chance to Win. No rhyme or reason, just a time picked by Reardon.
Well, that kind of did rhyme.
Free Mark Reardon Show T-shirts, where St. Louis comes to talk. Listen 3 to 6.
I will tick when I pick. You should know that.
On 97.1 FM Talk. Right here, right now.
Air Comfort Service online at, you guessed it, aircomfortservice.com. You need to make sure your furnace is working right. You do not want to be caught in really frigid cold temperatures and have not taken care of the maintenance that you need. Plus, maintenance is often a lot cheaper than replacing your furnace unit. So have Air Comfort Service come out today and or call them today and schedule an appointment so that they can come make sure that your furnace is in good working order. They have maintenance plans as well. Let me talk to you about maintenance plans. You can purchase one of them for regular system checks, discounts on diagnostic calls and repairs, and you also get priority service. Those maintenance plans start only at $15 a month. And if you're going to pay monthly, you get your 12-month free. So reach out to Air Comfort Service at 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. Call Air Comfort Service today and get in your comfort zone. Online at aircomfortservice.com.
Diamonds Direct has enough diamonds right now to supply up to 30 ordinary jewelry stores. From a half carat to 10 carats. Rare, precious diamonds in all shapes. Straight from the world's best diamond cutters. At Diamonds Direct, diamonds are our business, our specialty, our focus. That's why we can guarantee the best diamond selection and the best diamond prices every day, every week, every year. Diamonds Direct. Get store hours, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Is your portfolio positioned for the biggest risks facing investors today? Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. We have experienced tremendous economic changes in the last year. Today, historically low interest rates and spiking inflation present new risks, and opportunities for investors. If you haven't made changes to your investments in the last year, it's time for a portfolio review. With 100 years of combined experience, our team can help you prepare for the risks relevant to today's investors. Contact the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel to request a free portfolio review at clearpathinvesting.com or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
It's Mark Reardon for CertaPro Painters. I've depended on them for years. They do great work, and I want to inspire you this fall to hire CertaPro Painters for your project because they're painting it pink. This October and November, if you hire CertaPro, a portion of the proceeds from that project are going to be donated to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. Let's work together to save lives. CertaPro is painting it pink. Get started. It's very, very easy. All you have to do is go to CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. You're going to be blown away by the quality of work and hire them time and time again, as I have. CertaPro Painters, proven and trusted experts in painting.
The Odyssey app. The Odyssey app. Download it today and stream anytime from anywhere where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. The place for ideas. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by The Loading Dock, Riverview's outdoor dining, live music, and overnight accommodations. Visit GraftonLoadingDock.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Well, I think what's under consideration is a proposal that Senator Wyden and the Senate Finance Committee have been looking at that would impose a tax on unrealized capital gains on liquid assets held by extremely wealthy individuals, billionaires. I wouldn't call that a wealth tax.
So there you have the Treasury Secretary Yellen talking about taxing unrealized capital gains, and then she tax on that prepositional phrase about billionaires. And so that's supposed to make you be like, oh, she's not talking about me. But it's important to note right now that the government is suggesting that they are going to tax money that you don't actually have in your hands. That this is the possibility of how they're going to make everything for people like you cost $0. It never works that way, does it? Well, let's talk to Stephen Moore about it. Stephen Moore is a senior economic contributor at FreedomWorks, and he is here with us today. Stephen, oh my goodness, that made my skin crawl, and I am not a billionaire. What did you think about that?
Well, you're on your way to becoming a billionaire, but I think you put it well. You know, if you look at the founding of the income tax, the personal income tax, which came into existence about 100 years ago, at the time, all of the arguments that are being made now about, gee, this will only affect, people who make over X amount of money, $1 million, $1 billion. That was what they said about the original income tax, and now we all pay it. And you did a really good job of describing how this really works. It means that if you have an asset, a painting or a Picasso, do you have any Picassos?
No, my children draw them though. So.
but any kind of assets you might have, the value of your home, the value of your stock portfolio, they're going to try to calculate every year how much it's gone up, and then they're going to tax you on it. Well, if you don't sell it, you don't have the money, right? It's just something that, as the time you sell it, you'll have the money. So where are people going to get the money to pay the tax?
It's frightening to hear the confidence with which they discuss these things. Also, here, I'm going to play this for you, more from Secretary Yellen on inflation.
And of course, Americans haven't seen inflation like we've experienced recently in a long time.
Yeah.
So we're realizing this inflation is here, and what we're hearing from the people in the government is that it's going to be here for some time. Let's forget about the billionaires with their Picassos. What about the people who are having to pay more for milk, bread, and gasoline each and every day?
Well, they're feeling the hurt, aren't they? And we all are. I mean, you are, I am. The people listening to the show. A friend went to the Walmart the other day to stock up on some supplies. Said they could barely get in the door. There were so many people just filling up on whatever they could get their hands on, because we're going to have shortages if this situation continues with the high inflation and with the shortage of labor to do the jobs. And it's gotten to a crisis point of view. And I was quite stunned actually by the press conference that the town hall meeting that Biden had with Anderson Cooper at CNN the other night, where he was asked, remember, and he was asked about the gas prices. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do about that. It's like, gee, that inspires confidence. He said, well, maybe next year gas prices will come down. I think gas prices are probably going to go higher before they go lower. And we're looking at $4 to $5 a gallon gasoline, which is going to be a real hardship on working class Americans. The Biden's economist the other day said, "Oh, well, that's just the high class people." What? I don't know if I constitute high class, but I'm sure paying the pain of all of these higher prices for everything from, a steak to potatoes to produce to, go to a movie and pay we paid like $24 to see the James Bond movie the other night. I remember when it used to be like $4 to see the movie. So all of these things are going up so fast in price. And it's killing people on fixed incomes, middle income people. I just feel right now, Annie, like wheels are coming off. I feel like the president doesn't exactly know what he's doing, nor do the people in his administration. I mean, do you think Pete Buttigieg knows anything about the supply chain? I mean, after all, he was his qualification is he was the mayor of South Bend, Indiana. I mean, come on. I mean, we need to bring in some people who know something about business. That's what I loved about Trump, by the way. Trump was a businessman. He knew how to deal with a crisis like this. He knew how to manage large operations. He knew how to meet a payroll. I just don't think any of the people in the Biden, not just Biden and Kamala Harris, but the whole team, there's not a lot of talent there.
Yeah, I agree with you. We're speaking with senior economic contributor at FreedomWorks, Stephen Moore. I want to ask you, this is kind of a high level, broad view kind of question, but I think it's so important, especially when you hear the Treasury Secretary Yellen speaking this way. We certainly have heard people in the Biden administration speaking this way. And you contrast it to Donald Trump, who was never ashamed of any wealth that he's ever had. The fundamental difference between these people when they're in charge, whose money is all of this money anyway? Who makes the decision on who gets to keep what or who gets to take what? Because I hear Democrats almost acting charitable and allowing wealthy people to keep a portion of their wealth. And I hear Republicans talk about taking that money when they're talking about taxing. There's a huge difference in approach here. And this party that's in charge right now seems to be entitled to any of our money, and they're willing to allow us to keep some of it.
So let's take someone like Jeff Bezos, who is, arguably the richest person in the world. If he's not the richest, he's in the top 3 or 4. His net worth right now is estimated to be close to $100 billion. So this guy is really, really, really rich, right? But think of what Jeff Bezos, and I don't like Jeff Bezos personally. I don't agree with his politics, but what a company he has built in Amazon. I mean, you can go on Amazon and within, 48 hours, you can pretty much order anything you want. They'll deliver it to your door. It's an incredible operation. And he's a great businessman. And, he was asked about this wealth issue. I mean, why should you have so much wealth? And he said, look, I own about 17% of Amazon stock. So, he said, and that's close to $2 trillion company now. He said, so maybe I've got $100 billion, but that means if it's worth $2 trillion, that means, 1.9 trillion dollars I've created of wealth for everyone else, for people who own 401k plans, for people with pension plans, for people who own stock. I mean, think of and not to mention the service he's provided. But the point of all this is that why do we demonize people who are successful in America? Since when do we do that? Do we demonize, Edison? And do we demonize people like Henry Ford and, Vanderbilt and,
What about
Rockefeller?
Hollywood actors and performers and entertainers who are famously wealthy for, entertainment, let alone you're listing off people who've actually created things that have caused other people to be successful.
And the other question is, who do you think can spend that money? Look, there's only so much money Jeff Bezos can spend, right? I mean, he might have caviar and lobster and champagne every night for dinner, but, one person can only spend. So that means the vast, vast majority of his money is going to be given out in charitable contributions and things like that. Well, who do you want to spend that money? Do you want the government and the politicians to spend it, or the guy who earned it? And I think the guy who earned it. And look at all the great museums and all the great, cultural things we have in this country. So many of the charities were built with the money from people who made successful companies. And the American dream is to get rich, right? That's what the American dream is. And why is it if you get rich, then we're going to take, half of your money away from you? I don't find the logic of that. I think it's un-American.
Yeah, I agree. Stephen Moore with us right now. You wrote a book, Trumponomics, Inside the America First Plan to Revive Our Economy. You've advised some of the most powerful people in the world on economics. I'm curious, just, unless that would be wonderful if President Biden has called upon you for advisement. I suspect he hasn't. What's your Monday morning quarterback assessment of where this administration is headed? We're not even a year into it.
Well, when you talk about my advising on economics, some of the most influential people in the world, I put you on that list. So,
yeah. I do need your advisement.
So, it's an honor to be your chief economist for the Ammie Frey Show. Look, if I were talking to Joe Biden, I'd simply say this: let's grow the economy. Let's not try to make rich people poor. Let's try to make poor people rich. Let's try to create an environment that allows everyone to attain what they want in their life. And there's no guarantees in life that you're going to get what you want, right? But this is a land of opportunity. And it was built, the goose that lays the golden eggs is the free enterprise system. It's why Americans are the richest. Even our poor people are rich relative to, people in other countries.
Yeah.
And so let's not mess up this system. Yes, of course, we need government. We need taxes to pay for vital services. But do we really need the government to pay for childcare? Do we need the government to now get involved in, we used to call that babysitting, right? That was my first job, by the way, babysitting. And I didn't have a college degree. And now did you see they want to say, if you want to babysit, you have to have a college degree now.
I know you're supposed to, as a parent, I know that there are babysitters, specifically in California, they have paid sick days, paid time off. You've got to pay them overtime. It's definitely, I'm just, wait a second. I'm like blown away. I'm trying to think of you babysitting little kids. Do you still do this? I would love to see this.
But here's the other thing about this free childcare stuff. Wait a minute. Think about this. By the way, I think working women are great, and I love them, and they work amazing. I know you're a working woman, working mothers, but there are also a lot of mothers who make financial sacrifice as a couple with their husband to stay home, right, and take care of their kids. So, and by the way, those couples with only one person earning money have a lower income than the couples with two incomes, but they make that financial sacrifice for one reason or another. They think it might be better for their kids. And I'm not passing judgment one way or the other, but this discriminates against the mothers who are staying at home and making that financial sacrifice. I don't get the logic of a lot of this stuff, but let's not kill the goose that lays the golden eggs. We are the greatest country in the world. Why is it that everybody wants to come here, Annie? Everybody around the world wants to come here. People with red skin, brown skin, black skin, people are poor, rich. Everybody wants to come here because they understand the statue of liberty, that this is a place where we have freedom, liberty. I've seen immigrants literally kiss the ground when they get here. And I don't want to see America be more like France and Italy and Spain and the European countries. We are a special place on the globe. And it's because we have had limited government. We have a constitutional form of representative, we're not supposed to have a massive federal government. Why does the government have to build the infrastructure, the roads? Why can't that be done by the states? Why can't that be done by local governments? Why can't that be done by private businesses? It seems to me the left thinks every problem is going to be solved in Washington. And I guarantee you, the only people going to get rich on that are people in Washington.
Yep. And when they're done solving all those problems, they'll make up new ones to solve with more of your tax dollars.
Exactly.
It's so frustrating.
Well, no, they're going to solve. See, you got it wrong there. They create the problem, and then they create the problem, and then they figure out how to solve the problem that they themselves created.
In the middle of that circle of life there. They have their hand in your back pocket. That's the frustrating part. Stephen Moore, it's great to speak with you. Thank you so much for the time today. People need to go check out Trumponomics because I have a feeling there's a possibility maybe you'll be advising a President Trump again in the future.
By the way,
Who
one
knows?
other quick thing, Annie. I want everybody to go to PragerU.
Okay.
Are you familiar with PragerU?
Oh, yes. Wonderful.
I have a new video that just came out a few days ago on PragerU. It already has almost 2 million views. It's called The Bankrupting of America, and it's a great 5-minute tutorial. Show it to your kids, show it to your family, show it to your friends, show it to your colleagues, show it to your enemies. Everybody should watch this video about the dangers of this massive multi-trillion-dollar spending bill that is coming up. We will bankrupt our country if we continue to spend and borrow like this.
I am thinking of you babysitting kids back then, giving them the PragerU speeches. And
you know what I got paid? I got paid $1.50 an hour.
Oh, it was worth it, I'm sure. Good life lessons. Thank you, Stephen.
Okay.
We'll talk to you again
Bye.
next week. Bye-bye. Senior economic contributor at Freedom Works. Can you imagine being babysat by Stephen Moore?
I think that would be fantastic.
If he wants to babysit my kids and teach them some things, you come on down to Southern Illinois.
Like, your kids would be dressed in business suits and
Yeah,
have like their
I'd put 'em in a
budgets worked
tie.
out.
Yeah, they come back and they have their like $5 a week budget for going to Disney World. How they're gonna? He'd be like, "Don't spend that money at Disney World. Invest it." And my kids would be like disappointed. You know what? I know each one of my kids. I know who would be like, yes, I believe in what Stephen Moore has to say and I will invest it. And the other ones would be like, heck no, I'm spending that on some Mickey ears.
And they'd be billionaires by the time they were your age.
I think one of them has the potential.
There it is.
The other ones will be asking the billionaire sister for.
Yeah, you don't need
hand.
everybody in your family to be a billionaire. Just one.
That's why I have 4 kids. I'm just playing the odds here. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, Marc Cox is going to join us. We're going to talk a little bit about Sam Page at the Blues game. Did the camera just catch him for a second when he didn't have the mask on? Is this the first time they found Sam Page at a public event without a mask on? It isn't. I'm just going to give you that little tip here. Marc Cox is going to sound off on this when we come back. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show. Threatening, throttling, or outright censorship. Not here. This is the place for ideas. 97.1 FM Talk. Right here, right now.
Whatever the occasion, our high-quality fine jewelry from Shane Company makes a wonderful gift. It's beautiful, unique, and made to last a lifetime. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Lakeside Renovation and Design, your go-to when you were looking for window replacement at your home. Now, the reason why I want you to check out Lakeside Renovation and Design is because they have the very best in product. Their Infinity windows are amazing, and they are exclusive to Lakeside Renovation and Design. They also have the very best in staff, in people who are going to come to your house, install these Infinity windows that are gorgeous windows, super efficient, but they also look fantastic. The finish that you can choose for your specific home, they have a selection, and they're going to help you make that decision in a way that's going to transform the outside look of your home, the efficiency of your windows. Right now is when you need to reach out to Lakeside Renovation and Design and schedule your appointment today. They are waiting for you to give them a call, and you can go online to lakesidерenovationanddesign.com right now. And when you do, you're going to be able to see their financing options, 12-month, 18-month, 10-year financing options. Great opportunities to make the project affordable that you want to get done for your house. Online at lakesidерenovationanddesign.com.
We've done it again.
While other lenders are talking about raising their rates, our expert team at Golden Oak Lending has dropped rates even lower.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak. With the low rate of 1.875% and home values at all-time highs, you can get more cash out of your home or eliminate pricey mortgage insurance.
Call 314-567-GOLD today to get your refinance started within minutes and make no mortgage payments until next year.
After all, our team speaks mortgage and loves translating it for customers. We can save you even more money with our 1.875% rate.
Plus, you'll never pay up front for your appraisal at Golden Oak. Call 314-567-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Landing, short my blues.
NMLS 114937, 1.875% fixed, 2.952% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. I've been warning our clients that IRS employees are back at work since mid-July, and their collection efforts have ramped up. Well, sure enough, it looks like it's happening. So if you have unfiled tax returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Tax resolution plans are based off your current income. So if your current income is less than normal due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this is precisely the time for the Lance Drury Law Firm to help you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Angie's List is now Angie, and caring for your home just got easier. Whether you need help with routine maintenance or a dream remodel, Angie makes it easy to see reviews, compare quotes, and connect with top local pros who can get the job done right. Plus, you can see upfront pricing and instantly book hundreds of projects. No phone tag, just the work you need done at a time that works for you. Angie's got your to-do list covered from start to finish. Book your next home project today at Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday afternoon. We're pretty much halfway done with Monday. We can put it on as we're in the back half of Monday. So thanks for being with us. Let's get to our guest, Marc Cox.
The conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government. Get off my back.
I'm the best there is at what I do. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
I wouldn't make it a habit calling me that, son.
And that's the bottom line.
So we got Marc Cox on with us right now. Marks, I thought of you first when I saw Sam Page having a good old time at the St. Louis, which who wouldn't be having a good time? The Blues are freaking awesome right now, but I noticed something was missing from Sam Page's face, and I have a feeling you got something to say about that.
Well, there's a whole lot missing when it comes to Sam Page, in my opinion, including his lack of the irony in what he was up to this weekend. You know, I was with Sam Page and not at the same table at an event several weeks ago. Same thing. He travels to the city where there's also a mask mandate after warning all of us that it may not be safe to hold Halloween and family events and holidays in our home. And he's around other people face to face, a few inches away, but he doesn't want you to be able to do that. It's an amazing display of hypocrisy, and I'm so glad somebody captured him at the Blues game this weekend.
Mark, I had somebody reply to me on Twitter. I shared that picture, and somebody replied, Annie, there were a lot of people at the Blues game who weren't wearing their masks. In fact, most people weren't wearing their masks. And I'm like, I think you're missing the point here.
I think you're completely missing the point. If I'd been at the Blues game, I wouldn't have been wearing my mask. That's the whole thing about it is that, listen, Sam, you seem to realize that we're right. And yet you want to force these ridiculous mandates on people in the face of COVID rates dropping like a rock. Yesterday, I know you've probably seen it by now, Rochelle Walensky from the CDC said that effectively people are, there's somebody working next door to the house here. There are people that might have to go to re-education camps if we can't convince them appropriately that they've got to be re-educated.
Oh my God.
We might have to re-educate you or send you to counseling if you don't see our point of view. That's baffling to me.
It's un-American. Sir feels
Certainly.
un-American.
Yeah.
I mean, when did we get to the point where people weren't? I mean, we're allowed to make decisions for ourselves. Anytime you make a choice regarding your health, I've used this illustration before on the air. If somebody is unfortunately presented with the information that they have cancer, they're given options. And some of those options are riskier than others, but the choice is the patient's to make. The doctor doesn't come in and say, this is what you're going to have to do. We make these decisions for ourselves. So then you ask yourself, well, COVID is about, how your decisions might affect other people. Well, we have a vaccine, so you can protect yourself right now. People can arm themselves with what they need to arm themselves to protect themselves as much as they deem necessary. There's a conversation about science and there's a conversation about freedoms. And it seems to me that people get those confused when they're arguing with one another, talking about different things. The freedom thing here is a big deal, regardless if Joe Biden wants to laugh that off in his speeches.
I couldn't agree more. And, I love it when I'm in a debate with somebody on this, either on social media or on the air, and they bring up the fact, well, you Trump supporters, this is you Trump supporters trying to politicize this. I said, we might not have the vaccine if not for Donald Trump. I'm glad that it's an option because it's what we needed solely to get back to normal. That doesn't mean that it's an end-all, be-all cure for COVID, but it means that people have the ability to make the choice. They know what the risks are. And, I heard overnight that another one of our local high schools here was reimposing a mask mandate in the city at SLU High School, is the reports that I read, because of the recommendations of the City of St. Louis Department of Health. And again, all they want to talk about is the science, Annie, but where is it? COVID rates have dropped significantly, and they're not a problem to begin with in our schools. And they don't pose a threat to our children. And our county executive tells us one thing and turns around and does something else.
Yeah. When you hear those individuals want to point at Trump supporters for making it
before
political.
Or after the election, should Americans take it, and would you take it?
If the public health professionals, if Dr. Fauci, if the doctors tell us that we should take it, I'll be the first in line to take it. Absolutely. But if Donald Trump tells us that we should take it, I'm not taking it.
I just want to bang my head into the wall because I've heard that too. People say, that this is being made political by Republicans.
Yes.
I'm going to, in a very mature mom voice, say, no, you started it. The Democrats are the ones who started this. It is Trump's vaccine. Trump got the vaccine. Trump told people to get the vaccine. Joe Biden got the Trump vaccine because he wasn't president yet when he got the vaccine. We need people out there telling the truth about what's really going on here, because I feel like freedom, First Amendment, all this type of stuff, we're losing ground under this administration, and it's not even been a year yet.
Well, we got a daily update on the number of deaths. We got a monthly update. We got a yearly total. We got a since the pandemic began update routinely during the campaign a year ago. And Joe Biden came right out and said every one of these deaths is on Donald Trump's shoulders or Donald Trump's watch, or however he put that. And suddenly we don't get those updates anymore. And my understanding is that total has doubled since last year, but suddenly they're not on Joe Biden's shoulders. Who's making this political?
Yeah. Yeah, it's so obvious, and I think Americans across the country are waking up to it. I want to shift gears. We're speaking with Marc Cox. He's the host of the Marc Cox Morning Show right here on 97.1, 5 a.m., which is an ungodly time, and all the way to 9 a.m. But I know that time now, being a mom of a 4-month-old. So I'm more frequent with that time these days than I have been in the past. You've been following the Missouri Senate race to replace Roy Blunt, who is retiring. What can you tell us about this race? How is it shaping up, and who are the front runners?
Well, Annie, I pointed this out today. I had a conversation with Rodney Boyd, and I said, I wonder if there's ever been another time in the history of a Missouri Senate race where the 5 people buying in the Republican primary, or for that matter, any party primary, weren't real anxious to have the endorsement of the incumbent of their own party. I think this may be the year, because yesterday Roy Blunt went on one of the morning shows, maybe this week, or CBS, one of the morning shows, and he basically blasted Donald Trump again and lectured Donald Trump about what he should and shouldn't be focusing on right now. Basically told him not to stop focusing on 2020 and spend more time looking ahead. We should always look ahead. But between that and some of his January 6th comments, you got 5 people running in the primary in Missouri who are running away from Roy Blunt because they want Donald Trump's endorsement, and they probably don't want Roy Blunt's endorsement. There have been a number of polls out. It really depends on who you talk to. In all but one of the polls I've seen, Eric Greitens is leading by anywhere from 2 to 10%, roughly. The Greitens people tell you it's more than that. Eric Schmidt was second. Vicky Hartzler was third. But there's been one ad run that I've seen so far in this primary, and that's Vicky Hartzler. And in it, she took swipes at Schmidt for not being conservative enough, and she took swipes at Eric Greitens for his hairdresser situation, right, his affair that he had before he ran for office. So I think things are going to shape up a little differently in the coming 4 months. Right after the first of the year is when this thing starts in earnest. And then probably by March, we're in full swing. I don't know. Greitens right now, I think Vicky Hartzler is going to be a player in this because she's collected as much or more money than anyone, and she's already starting to fire shots at the other candidates.
Well, it's going to be an interesting race to watch, and you would think that the what I would call now a red state of Missouri would go Republican one way or the other, but the primary is going to be an interesting one, and there's nobody following it more closely than you are on the Marc Cox Morning Show. So we'll be tuned in.
Well, thank you for that. We've had 2 of the candidates on our Senate stage event so far. We're trying to schedule with Eric Schmidt right now, and then we're going to get Billy Long and Vicky Hartzler next. So stay tuned for details on all that, Annie. Thank you.
Also, let me say cheers to you on your new podcast, The MASH. I love whiskey, and you are doing a podcast that people can check out in addition to what you do in your normal gig on the morning show here. Just give me a real quick precursor of what people might get to hear if they subscribe to that.
So I'm fascinated by bourbon because I have no idea how to make it, but I enjoy the hell out of drinking it. So I decided to do a podcast where I would talk to people who are not only experts at it, but in many cases, the master distillers at some of these biggest distillers in the country. Just today, we spoke with, watch me not be able to think of her name now. We spoke with the head distiller from Widow Jane.
Oh, cool.
One of the few women head distillers in the country. And she talked a little bit about that in the podcast, about how, that not that it makes her any better or any worse at her job, but she said women have a different palate than men, and sometimes they're better detecting this flavor or that flavor in the whiskey, and she thinks it gives her, unique standing in the business. That's one example. Buffalo Trace, Four Roses, Redwood Empire. I talked to a bunch of master distillers, and also people who are just bourbon aficionados who like to talk about their favorite bourbon, whether it's the most expensive one on the shelf or not. So that's what we're trying to do.
Awesome. Well, people can subscribe to that. It's his own podcast, right? Or is it part of the Marc Cox Morning Show podcast?
No, it's a separate podcast. It has nothing to do with politics. We just talk about bourbon. You can find it at 971talk.com under the podcast or wherever you download your favorite podcast.
I disagree that bourbon has a lot to do with politics. Just maybe not on your podcast.
Well, it has nothing to do with politics in this particular case. Let's put it that way. I think a lot of politics are discussed over it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think a lot of bourbon and politics go hand in hand, at least for our side of the aisle right now. I'm sure in your home. Marc, it's good to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming on here. We'll make sure that we get that link shared out for the MASH and encourage people to tune in 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on 97.1.
All right, Annie. Thank you.
Talk to you later. Marc Cox, the Marc Cox Morning Show there at Marc Cox 971. Go follow him on Twitter and like his Facebook page as well. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, there's some other stuff to talk about. We're going to talk in the 2 o'clock hour about Saturday Night Live. You might not know this because you, like me, probably haven't watched Saturday Night Live for a long time. but they went in on Joe Biden, and it's kind of funny. So we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. Stick around. More Annie Frey Show right around the corner.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show. The Mark Reardon Show.
Doug High is a KFTK 97.1 political insider.
If Terry McAuliffe loses, Democrats are going to have things happening in their pants. That's how bad it is for them right now. They're nervous. They're palpably nervous.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Tony LaRussa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with a winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
So I got the baby weight off with Advanced Medical Weight Loss, my new partner for weight loss, located in Creve Coeur and in Glen Carbon. They have 2 locations. And I'm going to encourage you right now, if you have questions about this or how it might work for you, you can give them a call. I'm going to give those numbers at the end here, so get your phone out. Or you can DM the Annie Frey Show Facebook page and ask me about my personal experience. I'll talk to you about it. And I will let you know how I was able to lose over 20 pounds to get the rest of the baby weight off, and how I'm just starting this weekend again, my next round of HCG, medically supervised weight loss plan with Advanced Medical Weight Loss to get to my pre-COVID weight. So if you're watching on the webcam over the next probably 30 days, you are going to get to see me lose weight and lose it fast. It works. It worked for me. I trust it. And I encourage you to give them a try yourself. If you have 10 pounds to lose, if you have 100 pounds to lose, if you have anything in the middle or more than that, Advanced Medical Weight Loss can help you like they helped me. Here are the 2 numbers. Write it down. If you're in Illinois, in Glen Carbon, 618-352-5540, 618-352-5540, or in Creve Coeur, 314-254-9170. That's 314-254-9170.
Hi, guys. It's Andrew with Pineview Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men. The WAVE technology at Pineview Medical Clinic was tested by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic, and the results are in. It's proven to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED by treating the root cause, call us now, and not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces powerful and instant results in the bedroom. I don't think I've ever seen it fail. This is a $600 value, free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. 314-530-7777.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents and Doug.
And we're back with Limu, Emu, and Doug for the final question. Category is things you climb. All right, Limu, what do you think? You sure? We're going with Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. Oh, so close. We were looking for stairs. Huh. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
New school, new job, new home. Change is hard and can leave you feeling isolated. And divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone. But you don't have to walk through this alone. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has guided men through the challenges of divorce. You're not alone. Call Cordell & Cordell.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood Parkway, Suite 310, Chesterfield, Missouri, 63017. CordellCordell.com.
There are a lot of other cash home buyers out there today, but only Homevestors will make you a fair, firm offer that won't change before closing. Others may make an offer on your house sight unseen, only to reduce it or add hidden fees when they do see the house. We make a personal visit first. first. So when we make you a cash offer, you can trust that it won't be lowered. Servicing the St. Louis area for over 20 years and proud partners of the St. Louis Cardinals. For an all-cash offer on your house that you can count on, call 1-800-44-BUYER or go to homevestors.com. Each franchise office is independently owned and operated.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service and Environmental Resources. At Hansen's, we manufacture a full line of garden and landscape products that are perfect for your outdoor project. Pick up any of our products at World Outdoor Emporium, Kirkwood Materials, or a Hansen's location near you.
Up-to-the-minute traffic reports, so you don't have to keep looking at your phone. Dependable traffic on 97.1 FM Talk. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Wasting on these phony, trumped-up culture wars. This fake outrage that the right-wing media peddles to juice their ratings. And the fact that he's willing to go along with it instead of talking about serious problems that actually affect serious people, that's a shame. That's not what this election's about. That's not what you need, Virginia. Instead of forcing our communities to cut back at a time when we're just starting to recover, we should be doing more to support people who are educating our kids and keeping our neighborhoods safe.
What kind of issues are we are we trumping up for ratings? Because I'm pretty sure that inflation, which we have discussed, and if you're thinking that inflation isn't really a big thing, listen to the Secretary of the Treasury.
Americans haven't seen inflation like we've experienced recently in a long time.
Yeah. You know what, President Obama, that doesn't really sound like right-wing media. It's the Treasury Secretary yelling. Who's Biden's Secretary of the Treasury? I mean, like real issues that are facing real American people, parents. If you, first of all, do you know that today that the school board association, the national, I think it's the NSBA, I think it is, they issued an apology for their letter that indicated that whole idea of domestic terrorism with parents across the country. They have basically rescinded their assumption that what is going on at school board meetings around the country is akin to domestic terrorism. They've brought that back. It's funny how that happened like the week after Merrick Garland fumbled all over the place in front of his when he was giving his testimony. So you have the school board, the National School Board Association, issuing an official documented apology that the domestic terrorism idea of parents who are coming to school board meetings and suggesting that what's going on in their kids' classroom is unacceptable. You have Terry McAuliffe, who wants to be the governor of the state of Virginia again. You have him saying the parents don't belong in the classroom. So he is going to make sure that it stays that way. Have you stopped for a second to realize how much power these teachers unions have in our country right now? Unyielding power. If you look at the CDC regulations that came out on how we are to behave in the era of COVID, the teachers unions are advising on those. They get to see them before they're released to the country, and they get that priority viewing, and they have a say at the table as to how this stuff is going to go. The teachers unions have such a strong say in how we are running our country, and it is not to benefit the students. And it's not even, dare I say, to benefit the teachers. It's to benefit the unions. The unions, think about this for a second. The unions, they get money from their union members, the teachers. For the most part, most people are members. They pay their dues. They fund the unions. The unions go and lobby politicians, which means that politicians and the union leaders are having conversations all the time about what's best for the union and how the politician can help them. The unions make massive financial donations to get politicians elected. There's a symbiotic relationship there that is the unions sustaining power with these elected officials and the elected officials sustaining legislations and regulations that benefit the unions. Union to politician, politician to union, union to politician, politician to union. In that scenario there, that is everywhere in state government and in federal government, the teachers are not necessarily part of that cycle. Because the teachers' unions aren't always advocating for what's best for the teachers, the people who are actually funding it. And not even the teachers. We're not even talking about the students. We're not even talking about your kids and my kids who are supposed to be going into this publicly funded education system to get educated in a way that is going to make them competent employees one day. I mean, honestly, let's be real about this. The point of education is so that you can train up these children so that they can sustain themselves when the time comes for them to be independent of their parents. I mean, that's the point. All of the morals and the values and the right and the wrong and how we see the world and how we interact with the world, that's supposed to come out of the home. That's supposed to be the job of the parents. And we have seen government for decades work so hard to wedge themselves in between children and their parents so that they can have their say. And why? So that they can retain political power. I mean, if you feel dirty listening to that, you should. You absolutely should. This is the Fox News report from this weekend, 2 days ago. National School Boards Association, sorry for, quote, language in letter that likened parents to domestic terrorists. The National School Boards Association issued an apology Friday night. Why Friday night? Because hopefully we won't talk about it on Monday morning. But here I am. It's Monday afternoon, but they don't let me on in the morning. I've tried. Friday night for a letter sent to the Biden administration, which targeted some parents who are concerned about their child's school curriculum and said certain of their actions could be domestic terrorism. As you all know, there has been extensive media and other attention recently around our letter to President Biden regarding threats and acts of violence against school board members. The National School Board Association wrote in a memo, "We wanted to write to you directly to address this letter. Quote, on behalf of NSBA, we regret and apologize for the letter. There was no justification for some of the language included in the letter." This is what they put there. And I don't see people talking about this right now because this is 2-3 days old news. That's how fast we move right now. According to this Fox News article from 2 days ago, after the NSBA claimed in its letter that some rhetorical clashes between school boards and parents may amount to domestic terrorism, Attorney General Merrick Garland issued a memorandum and instructed the FBI to take the lead on a task force to address threats against school officials, including creating a centralized way to report such threats. It took one letter from the NSBA, which they have since apologized for, to get the attention of the Attorney General of the United States to create basically a task force for you pesky parents who are infiltrating these school board meetings where you're screwing up the system. Your eyes are on things that you're not supposed to be looking at. School board meetings are boring. Running for school board and serving on the school board is boring, and it takes up too much of your time, and it's not one of those really important things like, is Donald Trump going to run for office in 2024? I cannot implore upon you how much more important your local school board election is. Don't even mention the name Donald Trump for the next 2 years, and I'm fine with it. But who's on your school board? Why aren't you? You waiting for somebody else to step up and stand in the gap right now. You have common sense. Why not you? If you don't know how to do it, if you don't know what you're doing, reach out to somebody who has done public service before. If you don't know who that is, post on social media that you would consider this and ask someone to guide you. Reach out to your county Republicans and talk to them about how to get started. This is only going to get fixed with you. Forget about the circus that is, the Trump situation. Put a tent on it. We've got elephants and clowns. It's a circus. In your local school district, we are putting the Attorney General of the United States on notice right now. When he gets this NSBA letter, he's putting American parents on notice. He's frightening them. He's trying to keep you quiet. Don't be quiet. He's wrong. The NSBA apologized for it. Jim Jordan in this testimony, did you pull that sound last week? I don't know if it was old. Jim Jordan went in on Merrick Garland. Did we? I'm going to pull that. We'll play that when we come back. And he said, where are you getting your information about where these threats are coming from? What you create this task force and you use these words, domestic terrorism, in regard to the parents of our American students because they're their children before they are your students. Where are you getting your information to push into the realm of discussing domestic terrorism when people challenge their local school boards? It was this letter. It was this letter that the School Board Association has come out and apologized for the words that they've used. That's where this came from. They acknowledged their mistake because last week was that big of a disaster. More Any Frey Show right around the corner. Don't go away.
From the pitch swung a little too soon, to the joke told at the wrong time, to barely missing your connecting flight, timing is everything. The same can be true for your Social Security benefits. Take them too soon, and you could leave a lot of money on the table. Take them too late, and you might spend down too much of your savings. Everybody's situation is different, but taking your Social Security benefits at the right time is important for your retirement success. Heisey Advisory Group and our team understand Social Security and can help you make decisions that are best for you and your retirement dreams. Call Heisey Advisory Group today at 314-328-6000 to start optimizing your benefits. With Social Security, timing is everything, so don't delay. Call 314-328-6000. That's 314-328-6000.
Heisey Advisory Group provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness 101 for many years. Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 3 times a week. Yes, 3 times every weekend. Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness 101, now 3 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
If you've been dragging your feet, waiting for the perfect opportunity to consolidate your credit card debt, start that overdue home remodel, refinance to a shorter term, or get rid of that dreaded PMI, then now is the time to give me, Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage, a call. Interest rates are still at historic lows and home values are at record levels. I am here in St. Louis, and when you call, you will speak to me. Whether you are purchasing your dream home or needing to refinance your current home, call a local lender. Call Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage. I hate expensive add-ons and fees, and I will give you straight answers while we customize a loan that perfectly fits your needs. So call me directly while rates are in the 2s. 314-336-6050. 314-336-6050. Online at communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage LLC, 224143, NMLS 250353, APRs in the 2s.
Diamonds Direct has enough diamonds right now to supply up to 30 ordinary jewelry stores, from a half carat to 10 carats. Rare, precious diamonds in all shapes, straight from the world's best diamond cutters. At Diamonds Direct, diamonds are our business, our specialty, our focus. That's why we can guarantee the best diamond selection and the best diamond prices every day, every week, every year. Diamonds Direct. Get store hours, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
The president's tired of trickle-down economics. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That's part of his message while making another pitch today for his economic agenda in New Jersey, where he's praising the Democratic governor as a leader on some of the same issues.
Whether it's making health care or preschool or college more affordable, providing paid family leave.
Though the White House insists it's not a campaign trip for Governor Phil Murphy, who's up for re-election next week, the president's still trying to get moderate and progressive Democrats on the same page in Washington to pass a social spending plan that has stalled a vote on a separate bipartisan infrastructure bill. Advances in DNA testing help answer more questions about a serial killer's long list of victims in the Chicago area. Fox's Gernal Scott has this live.
Lisa, Cook County, Illinois Sheriff Tom Dart says they've helped a third family find closure.
We have identified yet another one of the victims of John Gacy's massacres, and that victim is Wayne Alexander.
Alexander was from North Carolina but moved to Chicago in the mid-70s. John Wayne Gacy went on a murderous spree during that time. He was convicted for 30 killings and executed by lethal injection in 1994. A special DNA project tapped into DNA submitted to trace genealogy, leading to new samples, a match, and an ID. They still hope to identify 5 other Gacy victims. Lisa.
Thanks, Gernal. The State Department just announcing $700 million in aid for Sudan is being suspended, money designed to support the African nation's democratic transition, but the military has staged a coup.
We reject the actions by the military and call for the immediate release of the Prime Minister and others who have been placed under house arrest.
White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre after the military in Sudan seized power from the transitional government earlier today. America is listening to Fox News.
I miss my baby. Someone stole my baby. By the way, my baby is my landscaping truck that was literally stolen from a job site. Baby, won't you please come home?
Owning a small business isn't always as lovely as it sounds, but with 30-plus customizable coverage options, Progressive Commercial keeps your business humming along. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
I love my sweetheart. By the way, that's my riding lawnmower.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage and discounts not available for all vehicles or states. Policy terms and conditions apply.
There's confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. One thing is certain. Whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer to check for fever, the leading sign of flu and COVID. Be vigilant and contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers that have no scientific studies. Only the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The fall chill is back this afternoon. Gusty winds and cooler, changeable sky. 55 for the high. That's a good 25 degrees cooler than yesterday. Tonight, partly cloudy. Take it down to 39-40 for the overnight low. Winds going light. Tuesday, sunny and cool. 62 developing rain showers are back Wednesday afternoon. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Come by and say hi because the Marc Cox Morning Show will be live in Eureka this Friday. It's to kick off the 2021 First Responders Spotlight. Mark will speak with first responders, lawmakers, and difference makers to give thanks to those who selflessly serve our community. So if you live in or around Eureka, come by during the morning show this Friday from 6 to 9. Mark will be at the Chicken Ellie's in Eureka broadcasting the morning show live this Friday on 97.1 FM Talk.
Worried about what you're breathing in? With each breath, allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
Home warranty. I know, right? Buying coverage for appliances, your heater and AC, etc. from a company that hopes you never ever have a claim or call. Let me introduce you to a real home warranty company, the kind that actually wants to help you. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Upkeep visit your home 4 times a year to maintain your appliances and equipment. You will never get a lack of maintenance denial because Upkeep does the maintenance. Also nice, Upkeep assigns you one point person to help you. You won't be passed around like an office hot potato, and you won't get subcontractors. Upkeep does all their work, so there's no blame game. Just experts helping you. Visit upkeepstl.com today and type in 971 for $100 off. Don't be denied. Instead, be relieved. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. 636-387-7331.
Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep, and you'll have a happy home.
There are a lot of things that you need to do to plan for your future, without your significant other. That's an awful thing to think about, but it's a fact of life. Or to plan your future and maybe your spouse's future who lasts longer here on this great earth than you do. All of these are difficult conversations to have, and I understand why people put it off. But I want to encourage you to call Beck and Lennox Estate Planning and Elder Law and talk to them about this, because they're going to make you comfortable while you discuss these important things. You're going to talk about long-term care planning. You're going to talk about what happens if one of you has to go into nursing home care or assisted living facility. They can connect you with things that are going to help make this affordable for you so that you have a plan. They're going to help you with your powers of attorney, with your will, with a trust, keeping you out of probate. All of these important things that you don't necessarily know are, so key to giving yourself peace of mind later on in life. You can take care of that now. 636-946-7899. That's 636-946-7899. BeckElderLaw.com.
In my journey, I've met many people who have struggled, but their brilliance and their creativity has been largely discredited due to the diagnosis that was given.
Ricky Godoy was a confident, outgoing entrepreneur who refused to let his diagnosis of mental illness define him. Ricky's Compass is a 501c3 nonprofit focused on shattering the stigma that surrounds mental health, and they want to give you a platform to share your mental health journey. Visit rickyscompass.org today and shatter the stigma that surrounds mental illness.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at CertaPro Painters, and if you need to knock out a painting job this fall, this is the best time to do it, because your local CertaPro Painters are painting it pink this October and November to support breast cancer research. Get your property painted in October or November, and a portion of your project will be donated to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. Let's work together to save lives, and it's really easy to get started. Just go to CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. They do great work. You'll be blown away by the finished product. CertaPro Painters, proven and trusted experts in painting.
From C13 Features, a new kind of listening experience.
He's back!
Help me!
Get out of there.
It's here.
No, don't let them in.
You can experience Treat, a podcast movie starring Kiernan Shipka, for free on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Grab some popcorn and enjoy the show.
This is Marc Cox inviting you to check out Odyssey's exclusive music stations like Wake Up and Rock. Hey, that sounds like a good segment for my show. Every station is at your fingertips using the Odyssey app.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by the Loading Dock, River Views, outdoor dining, live music, and overnight accommodations. Visit GraftonLoadingDock.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Good to have you here with us. Thank you for joining us on a Monday afternoon. Trisha's in here now with us. Hi, Trisha.
Hi, Annie.
How goes
Hi, Brad.
it?
Hello. It's a Monday. It's gloomy.
So you both live in Southern Illinois. Were you in the pathway of?
Yes.
How did so weather came in yesterday, and I was mentioning this at the beginning of the show. As soon as my kids get any, no pun intended, wind of impending storms, they just think that the house is going to blow away like it did in The Wizard of Oz. And it didn't hit us in the upper north Metro East. But you guys both live down there, so I was thinking about you. How was your situation?
So the tornado warnings, I was actually streaming with my friends online, and I had to cut the stream short, but the tornado warnings started going off, and so I texted my wife. I was like, "Hey, what's going on with this? Is this something we need to be concerned with?" Because the tornado sirens will go off even if it's in your county. And so she's like, "Yep, it's right on top of us." So ended the stream, signed off, all that other fun stuff, and looked, yeah, it was heading right down 64, and I live right off of 64, heading straight toward O'Fallon. So we got everything cleared out and got our crawl space prepared to go down in there, and we just kind of waited for the wind to pick up and when the right time was, but it never got to the point where we actually crawled down into the crawl space, and it just blew through so quickly though.
It gets real rowdy real fast, and then it's
gone.
Yeah. What about you, Trisha?
Yeah, I was good. It was loud, but I was laying in bed watching SNL, and Eddie woke me up and said, "You've got to come downstairs." So we sat in the basement for 10 minutes, and that was it. We were fine. It was just rain.
What year was the Joplin tornado? 2000. I'm trying to remember. Was I 2011? Yeah, Charlie was born, right? 2011. Yeah. My husband and I went to Joplin, Missouri with our church at the time to help clean up. And I am totally grew up in the country. It was totally one of those people, like when the sirens go off, you don't go in the basement, you go out in the porch or in the garage and you watch said storm roll in. But when I went to Joplin and saw what an F5 tornado will do to a place, that really changed my outlook on that. And I just don't screw around with that stuff anymore. So being in the basement or being mindful of like how quickly you can get in the basement when you've got a baby and you've got a dog, there's just things I just take that more seriously now. I think of those pictures that people have. There's like memes on Twitter. There's a tornado in the background. And someone's like hurrying up and finishing cutting the grass.
Yeah.
Brad, do you know about that?
No, that's not Brad. Actually,
that's not a picture of Brad.
No, growing up, I grew up in a mobile home when I was younger, and my uncle he's a farmer, and he has, our mobile home was on his farm ground property. And so he was around the house all the time. And when he was, I don't know, in his 20s, he was in the middle of a tornado in a car. And so he always had that big fear of it. And so anytime the tornadoes went off or anytime there was worried about storms or whatever, we all had to pile into his truck and drive to my grandparents' house a mile away and jump into the basement. And so like when we're 4 and 5 years old, that's terrifying. But I remember one night I was sitting in the living room watching TV, and our whole mobile home shook because there's bad storms. And that's when a tornado actually hit my grandparents' house.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So I've seen the destruction firsthand, and when you're little, that makes big impact on you. Yeah. And so I'm not afraid of storms, but man, I have a lot of respect for them. It's like I don't play games with them.
Yeah, that's what it's about. It's about respect. I remember going to when we were in Joplin, and it was the most eerie, bizarre thing to see with your own eyes, because you could see as far as the eye could see, which is literally what you can always see as far as the eye can see.
So you could see.
You ever thought about it that way?
Yeah.
You could see a far, far distance. But the trees look like somebody had just stripped them of everything. So that maybe the trunk and the strongest parts of the limbs that jutted off of the trunk were there, but anything that was small, any foliage, it was gone. It was just gone. And we would go, I think we did 3 days of cleanup. And I mean, there were just missions from everywhere going, and you just show up. There's no pre-qualification. All you're doing is picking up trash and sorting it. So you're sorting metal into a pile. You're sorting things that could be toxic or whatever. So maybe cleaning supplies or stuff that would be thrown out of a garage that can't just be put into a landfill. You're putting wood and construction materials. And you just go out there and you stand in the hot sun and you just sort other people's life into massive piles. And in Joplin, I don't know what the percentage was, but there were a lot of houses that were on slabs that didn't have basements or didn't have crawl spaces. And you would drive by and you'd see all these slabs. Maybe there'd be a part of a wall that was still up. Probably not. And like a refrigerator sitting where the refrigerator, like you just think to yourself, how many times did the person who, that was their home, that was their heart, their life was right there. That's where they would go to get, milk for their kids or a beer on a Friday night or whatever. That fridge right there is still sitting there and everything else is gone. Like, let's talk about the priorities and the perspective that we have right now when it's not personally shoved down our throats and into our minds. It's just it's a very humbling thing to see with your own eyes. I think that they said, wasn't it like 5 miles wide or something like that? The Joplin tornado was an anomaly in these as a F5 because it basically it moved so incredibly slow. It just sat on Joplin and turned it to the ground, as opposed to like what you guys are saying. I mean, you didn't have any tornadoes right by your house, right?
I mean, it was down
Chester?
Dartmouth Street. There was trees knocked over and stuff by it, and that's maybe a half mile from
But
our
that
house.
wasn't a tornado, was it? I mean, there wasn't a confirmed
just heavy
tornado.
winds.
Just like straight line winds.
Yeah, I think they said rotation was seen, but it's like it's
because there were actually tornadoes in the area.
Yeah, not near me in Belleville.
I think what they were saying was there was rotation. It's the kind that could spin up a tornado, drop a tornado down, and be there and then be gone. Kind of those ones that bounce around. But I don't know if they ever confirmed that it was a tornado.
Yeah, I haven't heard that there were specifically. I think more south, and I know Farmington, Missouri got hit pretty hard. I have a friend whose mother lives there, and so I checked in on her, and they have fortunately missed it. But it can happen so quickly, and just be so destructive in such a short amount of time. And so hopefully everybody is recovering okay today, and we don't have to deal with that. But the weather outside doesn't it look like particularly autumnal outside right now?
Yes. Autumnal.
Why are you? Yeah, it's a good word, isn't it?
It's a good word.
Or do you not like it?
No,
I could see why you would not like
I
it.
just haven't heard it.
You scrunched your nose up like it
ever.
offended you. Outside, not the word autumnal, but maybe it was the word.
No, it's just kind of gloomy.
You know the word blustery? How about that? That looks blustery.
Love that.
Reminds me of Winnie the Pooh.
I think blustery needs more snow.
Really?
Yeah, blustery to me
is wind.
Yeah,
but it's to me it's wind blown snow.
Yeah, I could see that.
Blustery.
Turn to the internet.
Yeah. Characterized by strong winds.
I didn't say that it wasn't.
Blowing in strong gusts. A blustery wind was sending flurries of rain against the window. That was a roller coaster.
Whoa.
She said,
What?
Oh, that was rain.
That doesn't even make any
I've
sense.
never heard rain referred to as flurries
of rain.
before.
Nor have I.
Dave Murray forecast.
Yeah, Dave Murray would probably have something to say about this. He'd be like, in my day, we didn't use the dictionary, which is really, the internet has really dramatically changed the way that we pretend we know things.
Yeah. Oh, we're all experts.
Do you remember being able to just like make bold statements and nobody could fact check you?
Yeah.
Those were the days.
I still do that though.
There was a sweet spot of time where internet fact checking would actually check facts, and now there's an entire industry of fact checking that is in fact not factual. How did we get to there? What happens next? What's the natural evolution in the next thing of how the internet affects the way we understand truth?
Could you imagine having to go back to like dictionaries and encyclopedias though?
I wouldn't be mad about it.
I know. Well, I remember like being a kid and being so sure about stuff, and I could just like live my life being sure about things. And now you can't be sure about anything because somebody can call you on it.
Do you remember?
In a second.
So when did you start actively? When was the internet acceptable in your studies?
I mean, probably early high school, late grade school.
What, you graduated high school in 2007? That's when I graduated college. No, that's not true. I graduated college in 2006. But do you remember using encyclopedias?
Prior to that?
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
there just seems like there's, literally a wealth of information.
And you'd have to like research your papers.
You'd have to know your alphabet.
I can smell encyclopedias right now.
What happened to all the encyclopedias?
I don't know.
Where are they? What are they doing now?
They're at my parents' house.
All of them?
All of them.
Every one of them.
They had the Encyclopedia Britannica and all of those.
Your classroom would have a set of encyclopedias. How many National Geographics? Where are all those right now? You think about all the different things that you would have to go thumb through. I would go to the library to do papers. Through high school, I would go to the library. I would photocopy things on the printer, the photocopier at the library for 10 cents. A photocopy out of books so that I could take that information home and, air quotes, work on it there. I didn't really. I was the best procrastinator that ever existed. Maybe that's why we're good at radio, because it really is all here and now. Like if you miss the boat, it's too bad. It's over. You don't have to dwell on your mistake. You just move on and try not to make the next one. And on a rough day, maybe you actually do. Maybe on a good day, you get lucky and you don't. Let's take a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about SNL. You said you watched SNL.
I did.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Till the tornado scare. So most of it.
And I have clips. We're going to listen to some of them because they actually poke some fun at Joe Biden. What could there possibly be to make fun of? I just don't. I got clips. We'll get Trish's assessment of that as well when we come back. Don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Want to know what's really going on in the world?
Follow 97.1 on Twitter and Facebook and weigh in. They can't ban all of us. It's the world, the country, and the community. 97.1 FM Talk.
Hi, this is Lance Drury. If you have payroll tax problems, you have serious legal problems, you need an attorney. Call 314-260-6120 or toll free 888-367-6512 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
There's a silent disease plaguing Missouri, and it affects 1 in 5 Americans over 60. It's called PAD, short for peripheral artery disease. Symptoms include leg cramps and numbness, cold feet, and foot sores that don't heal. Left untreated, PAD can result in limb amputation and shortened life expectancy. Modern Vascular has opened a new clinic in St. Louis and is now helping patients in our region treat their PAD using minimally invasive, state-of-the-art procedures. All patients are seen in a sanitized outpatient facility by doctors and medical staff that specialize in lower leg revascularization down to the toe, and Modern Vascular accepts most insurances. Your leg pain could be an early warning. Listen to it. Visit modernvascular.com and take an easy online quiz to determine your risk level. A nurse is available now to answer your questions by phone. Visit modernvascular.com.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas.
If you are a small business owner, do you know if you're overpaying for workers' comp insurance? Hi, I'm John Swigert, founder of Pi Insurance. Most insurance companies aren't set up to give small businesses the savings you deserve. That's why I created Pi. We serve small businesses exclusively, and we could save you up to 30% at trypi.com. At Pi, we take pride in our outstanding service. We're rated excellent on Trustpilot by customers who tell us Pi is affordable and easy to work with. Savings mean more now than ever. What would you do with up to 30% savings on workers' comp? I imagine you'd invest it back into your company and your employees. From one founder to another, I know you work hard to build your business. Let us help you protect what you started. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote in 3 minutes at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Everyone here knows Diamonds Direct is the place to go for the best diamonds at the best prices. But did you know that savvy buyers from all over America, even Los Angeles and New York, now come here to buy their diamonds? These high-end shoppers have discovered that Diamonds Direct has one of America's best selections of large, rare diamonds, from 3 carats to 20 carats, all certified by the GIA, the most reputable and most trusted gem lab in the world. Because of Diamonds Direct's international connections and tremendous buying power, we're one of only a handful of jewelry stores in America that is able to offer a large selection of rare and precious GIA diamonds. In fact, Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection includes a stunning array of high-end Riviera necklaces, 20-carat tennis bracelets, and an extraordinary collection of rare, precious gemstones, rubies, sapphires, emeralds, and even the really hard-to-find fancy yellow diamonds. Come see why Diamonds Direct right here is the destination for high-end shoppers all over America. Extraordinary selection, quality, and unmatched value. And a short drive for you. Diamonds Direct. Olive and 270 at City Place.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Never paint again with Rhino Shield. Listen to what a couple of happy customers have to say.
My family's business is over 10,000 square feet, and it did not have the curb appeal I wanted. Our building was really faded. You came out, you gave me all of these options that would fit my building. I don't want to have to paint my building again. 25 years is a long time to not have to worry about the outside maintenance of your building as far as paint. That's a no-brainer. That's why Rhino Shield worked for me.
What a wonderful job they did. It's beautiful. They were very thoughtful, kind, considerate guys. Appreciate all the work that these two young men did.
Call Rhino Shield, 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Let me run with you. You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. So, who watched Saturday Night Live this weekend? I did not. And my consumption of Saturday Night Live for 15 years has been through like clips they make it on Facebook.
Sure.
Do you watch it, Trisha, every weekend, or did you just?
No, I started seeing the headlines yesterday pop up on my news feeds about the Biden stuff, so I turned it on last night.
So you just thought, oh, I'll give it a try.
Check it out.
Here's one clip.
The FDA authorized the mixing and matching of booster shots and vaccines as we enter the just winging it phase of the pandemic.
That's where he ends up saying something like, what is this, taste the rainbow? Yeah, just winging it. I mean, we know where this has been.
Also at the town hall, President Biden admitted he has not yet had time to visit the southern border, though his approval rating has.
Oh, listen to that. You mad?
Insiders are also saying that during meetings, President Biden repeatedly uses the F word in conversations. More concerning, the F word he keeps using is forget.
So, you know why those are funny? Because they're true.
Yes.
Comedy is humorous because there's an element of truth that somebody is willing to say out loud.
Yeah.
When we were,
Kudos.
yeah, exactly. Credit where credit is due that they're, finally making jokes and not just being hateful. When my husband and I were in Jefferson City, when I helped host that inaugural ball, the governor's bicentennial inaugural ball, that was awesome. We went back to the hotel and Saturday Night Live was on and Dave Chappelle was hosting it. Well, come to find out I'm like, oh, Dave Chappelle, like, what are the odds? I love Dave Chappelle. I've not watched this in so long. We start watching it and it gets to the weekend update and it turns out that it was the episode that aired basically right after the election last year. And so it was a repeat, which it was new to me. But again, this is how frequently I watch Saturday Night Live. Gosh, they're just oozing with hatred for Donald Trump. Like it makes people, it makes them behave in unnatural ways when Donald Trump comes into the equation. And you get to the point where it's not funny. You're presenting something that everybody knows about, everybody has an opinion on, and SNL is only ever taking one side of it. Here's another clip from this weekend. This is there was a skit. Let's see. I'm not 100%. Let's see. I think that this is from the skit where Joe Biden is realizing he just doesn't feel like himself or whatever. Did you pull these?
I did. I pulled those.
The sake bomb one, is that a different?
That's the start of that clip. Jen Psaki comes in to deliver the message.
Okay, your CNN town hall was watched by no one, and your approval rating is in the dumpster.
I scold sake bomb. But hey, things are going to turn around, right?
I'm bad at lying, so I'm gonna leave.
I'm bad at lying.
I don't understand. People used to like me. The press would call me Uncle Joe. I miss the old me. Where the hell did that guy go?
Jason Sudeikis, right? Who used to play Biden as vice president, shows up on set. So Jason Sudeikis reprises his role as VP Joe Biden, and
trick or treat, smell my feet. No, I'm just joking. How the hell are you, buddy? Hey, wait a second. Who are you? Who am I? What do you mean? Who? I'm you. I'm you from 8 years ago, man. The ghost of Biden passed. Boom! How can you be me? You seem so happy, so carefree, so. What's the word I'm looking for? Lucid.
I mean, that's relatable.
Yeah.
Good on them for saying I hate this phrase, but it works. The quiet part out loud. Here's one more part from SNL this
where
weekend.
I'm from, we're still VP, Easiest gig in the world. We're like America's wacky neighbor, Just pop in with an ice cream cone, some aviator shade, do some finger guns, shake a few hands, rub a few shoulders. Yeah, well, you can't do that anymore. What? Which one? Rubbing shoulders or shaking hands? Clearly both. Oh, come on, man. Loosen up, buddy. Come on. What happened to us, huh? We used to be fine, right? Oh, here, let me get a whip.
Oh. He's doing the classic shoulder grab to himself.
I like that. You like that? Yeah. Hey, I hope this doesn't sound sexist, but you gotta smile more, sweetie. Okay?
The thing about Joe Biden is he's always had this big personality, right? There's some people who are in Washington, D.C. and their personality suits the politician that does the politicking thing. Joe Biden has made himself a very long career, like a half a century career of being relatable, flawed, not somebody who puts them in the upper echelon, the elitist, at least from the way he presents himself. And, when you got old Joe Biden there saying VP is the easiest job ever, all you got to do is show up and have an ice cream cone and have your Ray-Bans on and do finger guns. That's not a whole lot different than what he's doing as president. And the only reason he's getting away with that is, once again, because of the media.
Yeah.
He's not being held accountable in any way to have to present more to the American people. And there are dumpster fires all around him. Go ahead.
Oh, I do think it's interesting that the way they portrayed Jen Psaki, because they're willing at this point, it seems like, let's just consider SNL to be the left, this umbrella of the left.
I'll concede that.
Okay.
I won't argue with you. I just don't have time today.
Just imagine for a moment. They're willing to throw Joe Biden under the bus, and it's almost like everybody's gotten on board with Joe Biden's doing a bad job. At the same time, they're like, they portray Jen Psaki. I'm Jen Psaki, and I don't lie about anything. They're still boosting her up. So it's interesting to see them boost the people around Joe Biden and this administration while taking down the president.
Yeah. Didn't they say in there that she doesn't lie well? I'm not good at lying.
Yeah, that's what they said.
But it starts with her being how good she is at her job and how virtuous she is, basically.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch everybody cover this.
They talked about her truth being that, like, when I read, I respond with truth and facts, and they call them sake bombs. It's like, I don't think that's what people are actually saying about them, but.
No, yeah, exactly. They made it sound like she was cool, like her superpower was sake bombs. Like, all right, well, that's not how I see that, but.
Do you think that the left sees Jen Psaki and likes her?
That's the impression I got from this coverage. Yeah.
let's talk about the real people. I'm not talking about what NBC wants us to feel about Jen Psaki. I mean, my Democrat friends who we talk about politics, when it comes up, I generally am not the person who brings it up, but it tends to happen around me for some reason. They don't seem to be too excited about Jen Psaki.
Well, that's good. That's a good thing.
I mean, that's an honest assessment of the
Yeah.
situation. I don't know if I was talking about this with you or not, but she's combative, and I'm okay with combative. But what I want to hear when somebody's combative is I want them to have facts to come back with. And I remember Kayleigh McEnany would come out with a big old binder full of information. And as the person was
supersized binder,
it was
It was huge.
ridiculous.
It was bigger than she was.
And like she
That's
would come
not hard.
out, somebody'd ask a question, and before they'd finish the question, you could hear her flipping
Yep.
pages, and she'd already have.
Well, on
Okay.
page 463, I have right here, section A, part 257, dot B. You're an idiot. It is true. And Trisha, you've been in the media industry for 10 years now professionally. And right, 2012 is when you started.
Yep.
I judged most people's time here based on what kids I had when, because Trisha covered my maternity leave for my second kiddo. Women do have, I would argue that it's a steeper hill to climb. It's tougher for women. If it's not tougher, it's at least different. That the path that you have to traverse in order to become successful in a communications industry is very different. You have different challenges than men do.
Sure.
I feel I have different challenges than men do. I also feel that being a female in this industry, that depending on how I play and navigate my way through this, that I have benefits and perks that men don't have. So it goes both ways. But when you're comparing, Dana Perino was the first female press secretary for an administration. And she was George W. Bush's press secretary. Later in his, it was like midway through his administration. So it hasn't been a long time that women have had the responsibility of speaking on behalf of the most powerful entity of government in the entire world. But we have seen women doing this over the course of time. I think it's interesting that we've seen so many women lately get that responsibility, because it's a different look, especially in this day and age. Okay, not that Sean Spicer is the glowing example of how to do this necessarily right, and I like Sean Spicer, but it is a very combative atmosphere. And Trisha, how difficult is it for a woman to thread that needle of being aggressive, being smart, being concise, communicating in a super understandable, comprehensible way when everybody on the other side of that podium is trying to get you?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it would be tough for anybody, but women have that extra in that role, that extra like lens of having to not seem irrational, which is not fair, but that's just a societal thing that we've done where women
emotions
play such a role in. Yes. And yeah, it is interesting that that job's been held by females.
So comparatively speaking, Kayleigh McEnany, I love Kayleigh McEnany, and she was a frequent guest on this show, on this station, because she was with the RNC for a long time. So Kayleigh McEnany was doing my show on Saturdays when I was on Saturdays.
Yeah, I forgot we used to have Kayleigh on all the time.
And because I know this because her name is hard to say. And I would have to say it's MC capital E. Like I had to say it out loud, just like Hans von Spakovsky, who I didn't think was a real person. And I thought Frank Ladd was pranking me the first time he was like, oh, Hans von, I'm like, oh, really? Oh, yeah. Hans von Spakovsky. And I'm going to ask him all these important questions. And nope, Hans is legit and whip smart and a great guest. Kayleigh McEnany was another one that I had to practice the last name, but she would come on. This is more of an indictment on me than it is on Kayleigh, but if you're doing Saturday shows for the RNC, you're not really like super high on the totem pole. Right. Just like if you're doing Saturday radio on 97.1, you're on the totem pole. That's cool. But you're not like super high up. That's the slot you get. You make the most of it. Kaylee would come on and she would be so smart and I just remember the brightness, both in her spirit and in her intelligence. And then all of a sudden she's speaking on behalf of President Donald Trump. Like, that was fast.
Yeah, that escalated quickly.
just to say a phrase. I think she did a great job. And I always try to, if you're on the left and you see Jen Psaki doing what Jen Psaki is doing, is she an icon for you? If you're a young female liberal and you love Joe Biden, or you're, big into Democrat policies, do you see Jen Psaki and think, man, she's just hitting every ball out of the park? To what you're saying, Brad, I don't feel like she brings a significant amount of substance and fact. She has a bit of an entitlement that she brings to the table. Like, her position behind the podium just automatically warrants her an element of believability and I don't want to say elitism, but that just by virtue of her position in that press room, she's given a deference that what she's saying is true, when in actuality, the important people in that room are the press, because the press is who represents you. You want to know what is going on with inflation, because you want to know how Christmas is going to be affected economically, if you're going to be able to afford what you want to afford because you're working your tail off, or your tax is going to go up. Oh no, everything's going to cost you $0. And the press is there to ask the question to Jen Psaki. Jen, how can you say that this is going to cost $0? Her response is, because it's going to. That's not good enough. And if the press doesn't push back and require more substance from the most powerful administration that exists in the world, they're failing you, and they're taking the administration side. And that balance of power is one that absolutely needs to be in check and remain in check. I guess that SNL going in on Joe Biden, does that mean we've reached a point now in this administration where they can't not do it any longer? Mm-hmm. Or have the powers that be in the media decided we're going to move on from Joe Biden and something else is coming our way?
Both of those are equally believable. And I don't know that I like that, because one of those gives me hope and the other one's like, oh no, we're still doing the same thing that we've always been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to see a combative press that would hold the politicians' feet to the fire. I don't have a problem with people holding Donald Trump's feet to the fire, but I want them to equally hold Joe Biden's feet to the fire. And we don't get that. And if they just decide, it's time to move on, then we've got the media, rather than being our voice, dictating to us who we should root for and who we shouldn't.
Margie on Facebook says, Jen sounds more like a mom because I say so. I completely agree with that. And Kimmy on Facebook says, Kaylee was very professional when it came to the media, and she was really great at bringing receipts to back what she was saying. And I always laughed when she would give the press homework research to do over the weekend. I remember when she would do that, a little research homework for you this weekend, and she would provide them with something a little tongue-in-cheek that maybe the media would educate themselves on. And of course, they wouldn't. All right, let's take a quick break. We're going to wrap things up on the other side here in just a moment. Stick with us. Make sure you go like the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. We're going to give an update on that when we come back, and see if this Friday, if I'll be wearing some sort of humiliating costume. Maybe Brad and Trisha have been lobbied over the weekend, one way or the other. Make sure you like the Facebook page. Get us to 16,000, and you can help mortify me at the end of this week. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
County Councilman Tim Fitch, the county executive, went to the Blues game.
I'm not saying Sam Page was the only one that wasn't masked at that game. The vast majority of the participants weren't masked. People are done with the mask, and it's pretty obvious.
Mornings 5 to 9.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Get your furnace ready for cold weather with a heating system check included with all maintenance plans from Air Comfort Service. Maintenance plans start at $15 a month. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Hello, fashion-conscious home lovers. Let's transform your lovely home's sense of fashion with the most beautifully current and stylish chic designer window treatments. Just contact Michael for an in-home visit at proctordrapery.com. 7 days. It's Proctor, spelled like doctor.
Proctor Drapery, the best in town. No finer window fashion can be found. Call for an appointment at your home. Spell Proctor like doctor.
Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com. Are you in the market for new flooring for your home or for your place of business? There are a ton of different options for you at Michael's Flooring Outlet, and they can help you with your commercial needs as well as your residential needs. Reach out to Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com, or you can check them out in any of their 3 locations, whether it's St. Charles County, West County, or Darien Prairie, because they are going to have a selection available for you that you can check out online. Like I said, in-stock products listed there, but you can go in, you can touch and feel and experience this flooring that you're going to invest in and get great value from the very, very best in customer service in the St. Louis Bi-State region. Reach out to Michael's Flooring Outlet and talk to them about their Mohawk Smart Strand Forever Clean with all pet flooring. If you have allergy issues, if you have pets and you want to make sure that you keep your flooring super clean and you love carpet in your home like I do, reach out to Michael's Flooring Outlet and they will set you up. You'll be so glad you did. Find them online at igotfloored.com.
Did you know you can sell any house within just 7 minutes without any fees, commissions, banks, or headaches? ChrisBuysHomesSTL.com is looking to make you a cash offer on your house today, no matter the size or condition. We buy vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, townhouses, condos, and apartment buildings. If you have a house and are just even thinking of selling, visit us at ChrisBuysHomesSTL.com. Leave us your info and we'll reach out to you, ask you some basic questions about your property, and make you a cash offer within just 7 minutes. Remember, when you sell your house to ChrisBuysHomesSTL.com, you get to choose the closing date. To get a free no-obligation cash offer on your house, go online or call us today at 314-782-5000. That number is 314-782-5000. 314-782-5000. That's ChrisBuysHomesSTL.com.
Hello, Marvin Mitchell here from Compass Retirement Solutions. Did you know that the average 3-year CD rate in the area was less than 1%? That's why we are excited to offer you several accounts that are short-term and pay better than bank rates. For example, we currently have a 3-year account paying 2.4% and a 5-year account paying 3.5% per year guaranteed. What a great place for your lazy money. You know, the money that you don't plan to use for the next 3 to 5 years. Now, terms and conditions do apply. So for more information, call 314-373-1598. Again, call 314-373-1598. This is Marvin Mitchell, and we would like to put your lazy money to work for you. Call 314-373-1598.
Guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Rates can change without notice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
Imagine if you could buy a stock that tripled your money, guaranteed. You'd be a fool not to invest, right? That's why Representative Bush must help pass the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Every new dollar spent on safer highways and transit returns more than triple the investment in jobs and economic activity. Investing in Missouri means investing in transportation. Call 314-955-9980 to let Representative Bush know we refuse to be left behind. Sponsored by the Transportation Construction Coalition and Americans for Transportation Mobility.
Information to keep you moving. Dependable traffic mornings and afternoons with Sue Thomas. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company. The best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
When I'm out walking, I strut my stuff, and I'm so strung out. I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check you out. Let me go
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Happy Monday. Almost done with the Monday afternoon. Again, we've determined that blustery means windy, but we all kind of agree that it definitely means cold. Even if the dictionary doesn't say so, we don't buy what the dictionary says.
I never said that it didn't mean windy. I just said it.
I didn't imply that you did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's such a Monday in here.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a blustery Monday inside the studio right now, Windy. And there was a definition. I think I deleted it for a blustery individual. I never called anybody blustery, but I probably wouldn't.
Human. Oh, you could be blustery for Halloween.
I like it.
The hair's all windblown. There's some snowflakes.
I probably will be blustery for Halloween, and I won't even do it on purpose. So the effort to get the Annie Frey Show page to 16,000 likes by Thursday, so that I have to wear a costume of Ryan Wiggins' choosing, is getting a little bit closer to coming to fruition. We are almost to 15,800 likes. So if we get let's just say 24 likes before the show is over, we'll be at 15,800 likes. Which is
this is gonna happen.
This is in striking distance.
For sure gonna happen.
This is gonna happen.
So if you haven't liked the Annie Frey Show Facebook page, I guess go ahead.
If you haven't liked the Annie Frey, if you have liked the Annie Frey Show page, go ahead and invite your friends to like the Annie Frey Show page as well, because that's what my wife did.
So I saw your wife commenting on the video that we put up. If you haven't seen this video, it's really funny. Basically watching Brad and Trisha walk around Johnny Brock's dungeon, giggling the whole time about how ridiculous I'm going to look on Friday on camera. And if you've been listening to the show for any amount of time, you know how not me that is.
I love it so much.
What your wife is advocating for the giraffe?
Yes, the giraffe.
And giraffe.
And I like the giraffe too, because like it's got a really, really tall head.
Yeah, she's not even gonna be able to get through the door.
That's what
studio door.
This light behind me is going to be problematic.
Yeah. I just want to see how we're going to light it for the camera too.
How about Abraham Lincoln?
I mean, Abraham Lincoln's okay, but this is a giraffe.
Lincoln has a beard.
Lincoln has a beard, but I have a beard.
Yeah,
true. It's a lot of beards in one room.
I don't have a beard,
but you could.
You know what though? If she ends up being the giraffe, I could get the Lincoln costume and I could be Lincoln.
I'm still a big fan of, you could just get a hat. You've already got the beard.
Just get a hat.
In that video, you
That's what I'm
really, really sell the squeezy cheese.
The squeezy cheese.
Everybody's like, I'm getting messages from people, and I know that they're talking about this specifically because I've never heard anyone call it squeezy cheese before. But Trisha, like, slow pans to the camera. She's like, this is it. Squeezy cheese
coming out of your head. It's
a hat
ridiculous.
that's yes. It is ridiculous. That is a wonderful word for it.
Mm-hmm.
The blustery cheese coming out of the head of the squeezy cheese can.
You just set a fan off the studio, off the camera a little bit, just blowing it across.
Oh man.
What about Barbie? Anybody talking about Barbie? Because she's like one of my favorites.
In a box. Crap. We already got the number. 15,801 people like it. So we're over 800. We're less than 200 away.
Oh, this is happening. I mean, are you in denial in any way?
Yes.
Oh,
it is not happening.
You know, you need to prepare yourself for the same way you prepared yourself for the governor's election in 2018. Just know that this is happening. Just
I did
prepare
it.
your heart
I
for
did
it.
it. I was this prepared for that as well. I walked in and broke my heart. Man, I hope we have a different story in the governor's race for 2022.
What are the chances of that?
Good. With the right candidate. We've had Darren Bailey on the show. Darren Bailey is a Southern Illinois representative. He's a wonderful man and he's done great things. He's not a representative anymore. He's a state senator. He is a wonderful voice for Republicans in Southern Illinois. And if you're not familiar with Darren Bailey, you should become familiar with him. He would be great for the state of Illinois. Paul Schimpf has been on our show many times. He is a Marine and he has served in state government in Illinois and has dedicated a lot of his time to public service. He would be wonderful. I mean, to quote Ryan Wiggins, I would vote for a tree before I would vote for Pritzker again. So these are good people. We had let's see, who is the last person?
Jesse Sullivan.
Just had Jesse Sullivan on here recently. A lot of people wondering if Rodney Davis is going to get in the race, and I would love it if he did. But all of this depends on these maps. I mean, you've seen who was it? Was talking about it, called it an Etch-a-Sketch map. It really looks like that. If
Yeah,
you
it
take the
does.
state of Illinois, it looks like the way these lines navigate through the state of Illinois for the the House. We have 17 seats in the House with after the new census. It's unbelievable. It's believable. I always start saying
Really?
it should be unbelievable, but it's totally predictable that this is how they would draw these maps. And if they want to draw Rodney Davis out of his district, which they have, he has. I've been asking him for 18 months, "Are you going to run for governor?" And he said it's up to the Democrats, because it's up to them how they're going to draw these maps. And if they want to draw him out of his district, he said the Democrats determine the ground on which I will fight to represent the people.
I was looking at those maps, and the district that I would be in, and I didn't see a number on it, starts somewhere near Champaign, snakes through, and literally snakes. It's a little thin line, snakes through Springfield, comes down around, and then hits East St. Louis, St. Clair County, and then kind of O'Fallon and stuff like that. And
It's probably District 13, which is Rodney Davis's, which he lives in Taylorville, and they have just made that little strip stay through Champaign. Because see, that's the thing. A lot of people, specifically with Rodney Davis's representation in the United States Congress, have been frustrated that he hasn't been more conservative, and they suggest that he's not Republican enough. But he also represents Champaign, and he also represented the Edwardsville area, which is the Metro East, which is SIUE. He has a lot of not necessarily purple areas, but very blue areas.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who he's representing. That's who he has to acknowledge as a representative in the House. And a lot of people, the answer will be different for each person who's in an elected position. But do you run as yourself, and then the constituents say, I
Take it
like
or
what
leave
he
it.
stands for,
Mhm.
I'm sending him, and you represent yourself? Or do you go as a reflection of the people in your district, your constituents? Different people choose to do different things. If Rodney Davis ran as a very dyed-in-the-wool, solid, I'm not going to say far right because that has such a connotation now, Republican conservative, he wouldn't be a representative, and you would have a very Democratic,
Mm-hmm.
heavy Democrat.
I don't like living in Illinois. I don't have a lot of patience or time for ideological purity tests. Like, you're not Republican enough. It's like, if you're a little bit Republican, you're already better than what they're going to offer us for
Roy
right now.
Blunt wanted to move to Illinois and become the senator in the state of Illinois, and we would be replacing a Tammy Duckworth or a Dick Durbin with a Roy Blunt. Jackpot.
Yeah.
Absolute jackpot. And you Missourian
just gonna say
Republicans,
that.
you guys sitting over here with all your excess Republicanism, just oozing common sense conservatism everywhere you go. It's disgusting. Please export it across the Mississippi River. We will gladly
Share
take
the love.
your refuse. I mean, seriously, Tammy Duckworth and Dick Durbin.
Yeah.
We could be so lucky as to have a Roy Blunt. It's all about perspective, folks. Mark Reardon Show, giving you an extra dose of perspective on a Monday afternoon. Coming up next. Don't go away.
Another glass of that rock and roll. Turn up the band, find the hole, gonna lose control tonight. What do you want from me?
Imagine for a moment an intense storm is pounding your house. Will your roof leak? Will the siding peel away? What about your basement? Will it flood? If your house is properly built and maintained, you should be fine. What about your 401k and your retirement investments? Are you confident your retirement portfolio is built to weather a financial storm? Now may be a great time to get a second opinion on your retirement strategy. Call the team at Heisey Advisory Group at 314-328-6000.